Hello, passengers, and welcome to the Midnight Train, America's second favorite podcast, where we bring the dark to light, where history never dies, and where listener discretion is always advised. All right, I'll quit talking like that. Well, yeah, welcome. We dive into, make fun of, and joke about the creepy and unsolved mysteries of the world. And, we try to bring you as much information as possible on each topic. We are a comedy podcast, or at least we try to keep things light. But we
funny looking.
We are definitely funny looking. But we do talk about some pretty dark stuff. So if you're not into that and you don't feel like those things kind of work together, then it's cool. But if you are, welcome or welcome back. There you go. I am your host, the conductor of the Cryptic. And, my name is Jonathan Sayer, by the way. And with me, forgot to even say my fucking, we're getting back into the groove. We were on hiatus for a little bit. But with me, of course, is the one, the only, the Mr. Moody.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
You good? Good, man.
I am. I'm okay. Yeah. I'm all right.
We kind of had this discussion.
We did. We literally just were talking about it ahead of time.
Didn't really get a whole lot further.
Yeah, we're just kind of like,
man, where are they?
Yeah. So listen, if you are, a fan of the show and you want some more episodes and you want some cool stuff and whatnot, our Patreon is amazing. Our recent one we just did actually kind of stemmed from the war criminals, and we talked about Nazi hunters. And it was pretty awesome. And
I bet you guys did not see that coming. Don't give me the goddamn porn.
You get it. You get it. There it is. So anyway, no, it was really cool. And we actually learned that actually a lot. Like there are still
there's a handful of them motherfuckers.
They're still alive. They're still alive.
They know where they're at, and they're not doing anything.
Yeah, it's super weird. Well, yeah. There's a reason for it. And if you want to listen to that, just head on over to the midnighttrainpodcast.com. That's our official website, and you can sign up for Patreon over there, or go to patreon.com/the Midnight Train Podcast. And for $5 a month, you get all the bonus episodes, and there are a ton of them in there. There's a lot of really weird, fun stuff in there that we kind of just do what we want over there.
John reading Bigfoot erotica.
And that is a serious thing. Part 1, by the way. That was just part 1. I will be revisiting that.
So there will be more.
Yes, I will be revisiting that. Man, that was just really difficult to get through. I'm not going to lie. So anyway, we'll save the rest of the business stuff until the end. So let's just jump into this. Let's turn down the lights, adjust our seats, grab a drink, whatever it is you want, and let's get Appalachian.
Shall we?
Or if you're from up north, hillbilly. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Anyway, let's just get into this. Yeah, for sure. But first, a funny story before we jump onto the train here and take off. So, I've talked about our Jody before. It's my dad's friend, And she says, I used to say something about hillbilly or redneck or whatever. She's like, nope, we're Appalachian. She's like, if you're from Kentucky, you're hillbilly. And if you're from Kentucky, I'm sorry. That's just what she said. I think it's an ongoing joke. But anyway, here's a toast to all you beautiful motherfuckers.
Very nice.
Drinking in NA.
I don't have any. So water?
Basically. It's beer flavored water. That's what it is.
My lips are all chapped. I'm being ripped it open. It fucking hurts. Got a new one of these in the works?
Yeah.
I thought I remember saying something about it.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
This one is pretty good.
It served us well.
It has served us well. All right, so we are talking about the Appalachian Trail. I'm from down there. And
Appalachian,
right? or Appalachian. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone make like a distinguished, like assertion of that. I don't think anyone was ever like, that's incorrect.
It just depends on where you come from.
Yeah, I think it's Appalachian, right?
Pronunciation.
Appalachian,
yeah.
Whatever. So we're talking about some murders and some missing cases from the Appalachian Trail. Now it's going to bother me the entire time. So let's talk about the Appalachian Trail first and foremost, okay?
Every time you fucking say it now, I'm just going to laugh because in your head.
It's in my head. I swear to God, I'm just going to, it's Appalachian. We're just going to put in it right now, okay?
I'm going to correct you every time you say it.
It's Appalachian.
Every time you say Appalachian, be like, Appalachian.
I'm going to start calling it the Alpaca Trail. No, the Appalachian Trail, often referred to as the AT, is a hiking trail located in the eastern United States. It stretches nearly 2,200 miles from Springer, and that's 3,540 kilometers for all of you people that are smarter than us. That goes from Springer Mountain in Georgia to Mount Katahdin in Maine, passing through Fort
in Maine.
Apparently, Maine's so pretty, dude. It's so awesome. It's gorgeous. It actually goes through 14 different states along the way. The Appalachian Trail Conservancy asserts that the Appalachian Trail is the longest hiking only trail in the world. Each year, more than 3 million people hike sections of the trail. Now, have you ever known anyone that's actually done any of this? Like actually hiked on the trail?
A guy that I used to work with, I think, did part of it. Like he did a little bit of it. And I think I don't know how far or where, but I know he did a stretch of the trail.
Yeah, I've had a couple friends that have actually done it, and a female friend, well, it's a chick I knew. Anyway, she did it by herself, and she was gone for like 3.5 months.
That's a ballsy move.
Yeah, well, especially after we're done talking about what we're talking about. It's pretty crazy. So the Appalachian Trail was first proposed in 1921 and completed in 1937 with ongoing improvements and changes since then. It became part of the National Trail System under the National Trail System Act of 1968. The Appalachian Trail, actually, I should go back and forth each time. Just call it different each time. Just keep people on their toes. So the Appalachian Trail, a celebrated long-distance hiking route, is meticulously maintained by a network of 31 dedicated trail clubs in collaboration with various partnerships. It's a pretty big deal. I never really knew.
Yeah.
I drive through those mountains constantly, and I've never even thought about it before, you know? So, its stewardship falls under the guardianship of the National Park Service, the United States Forest Service, and the nonprofit organization known as the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. I don't even know what that is. I didn't even know what that word was until I saw it. Well, they take the shit seriously. So, as you journey,
it's a wonderful natural resource.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've never done it or been a part that I know of. I may have accidentally stumbled across one of those trails just being out.
Honestly, like if you just think about the scope of the whole thing, like it's a fucking trail that's like 2,800 miles long or some shit. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Just a trail. Like think about all the little trails that you take through the woods and blah, blah. Now imagine that going for another 2,800 miles.
Literally going vertically from across the United States. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's crazy. So as you're journeying along the trail, you'll find that it predominantly weaves through lush forests and expansive wildlands, immersing hikers in the tranquility of nature. However, there are sections where the path meanders through charming towns, crosses bustling roads, and even passes by working farms, providing a unique blend of wilderness and community. So it has all kinds of stuff. It's a trail. Eventually, it's going to find some sort of, public area. It's not just all in the backwoods. From its southern origin in Georgia to the northern terminus in Maine, the trail unfolds across, 14 states, including North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire. That is crazy. Like, even just saying all of those, like, in context, like when you name all the damn states that it goes through is wild to me.
Yeah.
So each section of the trail offers its own distinctive landscapes and cultural experiences, inviting adventurers to explore the rich diversity that the Appalachian region has to offer. Through hikers complete the entire trail in a single season. So Some people will literally in one season walk the entire thing.
That's
20
a long way.
Over 2,000 miles, dude. That's crazy. So the number of through hikes each year has steadily increased since 2010, with 715 northbound and 133 southbound through hikes reported in 2017, which doesn't really sound like a lot.
Dude, that's 133 people walking 2,400 whatever miles.
Only going south, though. It's 715 going north.
Because the South is weird and people don't like it.
Then why? Well, yeah, okay. So the Appalachian Trail Conservancy estimates that over 3,000 people attempt to traverse the entire trail each year, with about 25% of these attempts resulting in success. So most people are like, I'm done. That would be me. I would start it and just be like, nah, I need a beer. Just go someplace else.
Like the second day, you'd be like, I'm fucking done with this.
Yeah, for sure. Dude. If I even got that far. What are we talking about here?
Walk again, man? Fuck that.
Why are we here? So many books, documentaries, and websites are dedicated to this pursuit. Some hikers start at one end of the trail, hike to the other end, and then turn around to hike back the other way. This is known as a yo-yo hike.
Yeah.
First of all, how do you have the time?
Yeah, dude, that's like a year-long process.
Easy.
Fucking there and back.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, how would you? That's crazy. Not only that, but I mean, that's some gumption. Oof. So the affiliated trail sections begin at both ends, creating an expansive network for hikers. From the north, the International Appalachian Trail stretches into Canada and beyond, offering breathtaking views and diverse landscapes for those seeking adventure. Meanwhile, the Eastern Continental Trail emerges from the south, winding its way through the picturesque southeastern states of Alabama and Florida. These southern routes, they invite explorers to experience the unique flora and fauna of the region, making it a captivating journey from one end of the continent to the other. The Appalachian Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, and the Pacific Crest Trail collectively form what hikers affectionately refer to as the Triple Crown of hiking in the United States. So this prestigious designation celebrates the incredible challenge and diverse landscapes that these trails offer to avid outdoor enthusiasts. And this is so far out of my fucking wheelhouse that, like, I can't even express. Like, I like going on walks. I like going down home to West Virginia.
That's a little more than a walk, my friend.
I like going down to West Virginia, you know, my family's land, and walking through the mountainous whatever, and, you know, trekking through there or whatever. But this just sounds exhausting. Like, that's...
All right, Joe. So if you go there and back, so this says it would take roughly for a through hike, which is from north to south or south to north, 5 to 7 months to hike the entire thing. So if you went there and back, that is legitimately possibly over a year.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, how do you have that kind of time on your hands?
You have to be like completely independently wealthy, or just
a bum,
or just not have anything.
Yeah, you got one or the other there. You either
have to be loaded or like flat fucking broke.
Yeah,
and have nothing.
Yeah, or just be a bum. Yeah. Oh, I lost my job and everything I own. I'm gonna go take the trail and just do it.
Just gonna go walk for a year.
And I was running. So the conception of the Appalachian Trail can be traced back to Benton McKay, a visionary forester who, in the wake of personal tragedy following his wife's death in 1921, crafted an ambitious plan. Titled An Appalachian Trail, a project in regional planning. McKay envisioned a magnificent trail that would seamlessly link a network of working farms and wilderness study camps, providing a refuge for city dwellers seeking solace in nature. So it's kind of a cool thing. In 1921... he's like, we got all this fucking land. Let's do something with it.
Yeah.
So this extensive footpath would stretch majestically along the winding ridges of the Appalachian Mountains, starting from the breathtaking pinnacle of Mount Washington in New Hampshire, the highest peak in the Northeast, and extending southward to Mount Mitchell in North Carolina, the tallest summit in the South. Through his grand vision, McKay sought not only to create a trail for hiking, but also to foster a deeper connection between people and the natural world. Okay, so that was his original thing, is he wanted it to go from one tall spot to another tall spot and walk that in between. And then people could connect to, this is in 1921. How far displaced from nature were people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Wild West was just like 5 minutes before this. You know what I mean?
That's a fair point.
You know,
fair point.
I don't know.
Probably most people probably didn't even have probably wasn't even a lot of indoor plumbing in that area. If you're talking about
for sure
the Appalachian area, like those people didn't have indoor plumbing yet. Like they were still shitting in the woods.
My aunts, my uncle and my great grandmother, so great uncle and great grandmother, they didn't have running water and plumbing like in the house until probably 1998.
1998?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I remember going down there and using an outhouse constantly. Yeah. So
shit in a bucket outside.
So I can't imagine these. Well, I've told the story before about how the outhouse, you had to carry a broom with you. If not, the rooster would try to flog you. Yeah. It was fun growing up. Like, and here I'm just this kid from like, you know, up north, and I'm going down there and I'm like, I have to use the restroom. Well, you gotta go out to the outhouse.
Where'd you live? Where'd you live when you were a kid up here?
Up here in Cleveland.
Like where at though?
Well, we first moved up here from I was like 6 weeks old, so right over West 65th. The first place I lived at. Yeah, I know. It's actually really nice over there now. Gordon Square, whatever it's called. It's pretty cool.
There's like one little section if you go too far one or the other way.
That is true. And
you're
so
gonna get fucking shot.
Literally, I was 3 streets from where like what is that? Lorraine and 65th. That's Gordon Square, right? Yeah, so I was two streets from Lorraine. It was called West Clinton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were a city boy.
Yeah. So going down there and, you know, growing up, I mean, we moved around a lot. I've talked about it before with mom and blah, 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 blah. But still, it was always up north. So wherever we moved, it was either another spot in Cleveland or, you know, Lakewood or whatever it was. And for those people not familiar with that, those are cities. You know what I mean? So then when you go down there.
Those are cities, just so you know.
Yeah. Well, when you go down there, you know, I see my grandparents. And, you know, it's definitely, you know, they talk like yes and, you know, they make their own food and grow their own stuff and, oh, John. But then they take you down into the holler. And that's when the broom comes in handy with the fucking rooster. So that was life. So anyway, yeah, there couldn't have been a whole lot of plumbing anywhere during this entire thing. So again, you know, they wanted to hit the summits on this and make it like really just impressive. So hiking emerged as a remarkable yet unforeseen centerpiece of his vision. In the year 1922, following the insightful recommendation of Major William A. Welch, who was then at the helm of the Palisades, Interstate Park Commission, this ambitious concept received a significant boost. The idea was brought to the public's attention by the passionate outdoor advocate Raymond H. Torrey, who penned a captivating article for the New York Evening Post.
Just seeing this dude like up at the podium talking in front of people, he's just getting all excited. He's like, "Who wants a fucking trail?" He's like getting everybody excited, you know, like, yeah, fucking trail.
Let's get out of the city. Let's touch grass. Let's go. In 1921.
He was just like pep talking the shit out of these people, right, trying to get backing for, you know.
So this piece dazzled readers with its full page banner headline proclaiming, quote, "a great trail from Maine to Georgia," with exclamations and shit.
Like, I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't know, man, because a lot of trails in America didn't lead to anything good for a long time.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they were trying to do.
Like, we're making this one's going to be good, though.
Don't forget about those
trail. Don't worry about the other ones.
So listen, I have an idea. They keep talking about this shit in history class. What if we made our own trail, but we made it like, you know, a good one? Maybe we'll forget about that. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe. So it stirred excitement and intrigue, inviting outdoor enthusiasts to imagine the vast potential of a continuous hiking journey through the beautiful landscapes of the East Coast. And it is beautiful, I will tell you that. Those mountains are gorgeous, dude.
Like over, was it in North Carolina and shit, like the Blue Ridge Mountains?
Oh, yeah. It's so awesome. On October 7th of 1923, the inaugural segment of the Appalachian Trail was unveiled, stretching from the scenic Bear Mountain and extending westward through the lush expanses of Harriman State Park to the charming community of Arden, New York. Inspired by this momentous opening, Benton McKay, the visionary behind the trail, called for a gathering that would bring together passionate advocates and nature enthusiasts. A 2-day Appalachian Trail Conference was convened, Yeah, they had a conference and shit over this.
Wow.
Was convened in March of 1925 in the heart of Washington, D.C. This pivotal. Why do I want to say pivotal? This pivotal meeting was the pivotal igniting or shit. The pivotal meeting ignited enthusiasm and collaboration, leading to the establishment of the Appalachian Trail Conference, which later evolved into the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. Okay? Conservancy. There's an N in there.
Dude, you're having some problems.
Dude, I'm not even drinking this time. I know, it's weird.
Maybe that's the problem.
Maybe that is the problem. I need to go
drinking that non-alcoholic.
I know, it's making me goofy. So noteworthy figures in this movement included Arthur Perkins, a retired judge with a deep commitment to nature, and his youth.
Arthur Perkins was.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Yeah.
I like when they say notable people that are involved, and it's like like Jim Smith from his basement office and
well-loved neighbor. Yeah. So, and his youthful associate, Myron Avery, whose shared dedication fueled their efforts to advance the cause of this iconic. I love how it's like
is that Myron that owns the gas station.
I just like how they say his youthful associate.
Guy was probably like 72.
Right.
The other guy was probably in his 90s.
So in the year 1929, Perkins, an enthusiastic member of the Connecticut Forest and Park Association, as well as a key participant in its Blue Blaze Trails Committee, embarked on an ambitious project to enhance outdoor exploration in the region. He enlisted the help of Ned Anderson. Oh, that's right.
Oh, fucking Ned Anderson.
Fucking Ned Anderson. Yeah, you didn't know he was involved.
Tell me you were going to talk about Ned Anderson.
I know. He was a dedicated farmer. Who was residing in Sherman, Connecticut.
Well,
okay.
Of course, he's the guy you want then.
Right, of course. Anderson took on the significant responsibility of meticulously mapping and blazing the Connecticut segment of the trail.
All that shit you got meticulously with no problem.
I know, right? Dude, that's how it goes. You know that. So he actually did this between 1929 and 1933.
Okay.
So this remarkable trail stretched an impressive 50 miles, beginning at Dogtail Corners in Webbatuck, New York, which adjoins the picturesque Kent, Connecticut at Ashley's Falls. Okay?
Of course.
Okay. The path meandered through the serene landscapes of the northwest corner of the state, culminating at the imposing Bear Mountain, which gracefully marked the border with Massachusetts. So the
dude started and just made this fucking 50-mile trail until he hit Massachusetts. And said, all right, I'm done fucking Massachusetts. You pick it. You take it from here.
Sounds a bit underwhelming when you say it like that. Yeah, I like it better the way I say it. Like, and then he did this. Wow.
Yeah, he drove a bulldozer 50 miles through the woods.
So a segment, I don't even think he did that. I think he just mapped it out.
Oh, there was no there had to be some semblance of a trail.
Ribbons?
Did he just wander 50 miles and he's like, okay, this looks like a good spot?
Seems like a good idea. In actuality, it was only like 10 miles on the road, but he got lost. So it wound up being...
this is really nice. It was just 50 miles later. I made a trail.
So a segment of the Connecticut Trail underwent a significant rerouting between 1979 and 1983, transforming it into a more scenic path that ventured away from the busy highways and immersed hikers in the beauty of the wilderness.
Good.
Right. So there probably weren't highways going through there in 1929 and 1933. And then
when they put the highways in there, it was right next to the fucking trail.
Or across it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So this upgraded route features the stunning Ned K. Anderson Memorial Bridge. That's right. He got his own bridge.
He got a fucking bridge?
Yeah, he did. Fucking A, Ned.
Ned Anderson. Fucking A. He's my new hero.
I know. So Ned K. Anderson's unwavering dedication breathed new life into the Appalachian Trail, sparked a renewed excitement for its preservation and enjoyment among hikers and nature enthusiasts alike. Following the death of Benton McKay in 1932, a pivotal figure in the trail's inception, Myron Avery, and this is the young associate, emerged as a key leader in the project. With remarkable skill, he forged collaborative relationships with representatives from various states, tirelessly advocating for a cohesive and unified approach to the trail's development. These motherfuckers were into it. They wanted it. So upon taking the helm of the Appalachian Trail Conference, Avery poured his energy into his vision of creating a hiking trail that was not only simple to navigate, but also irresistibly enchanting, drawing people into the breathtaking
simple to
beauty.
Navigate if you have a year.
Got a year of nothing to do? Come on down.
Honestly, though, like most trails through the woods are fairly simple to navigate. You just got to walk, maybe dodge a branch here and there, step over a log.
Dude, speaking of dodge, I watched Dodgeball again the other day. That movie still holds up.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
That's right. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. Sorry. Anyway, so despite his many accomplishments, Avery's tenure as a leader was marked by significant controversy. He often found himself in heated dispute with Benton McKay regarding the Appalachian Trail Conference's approach to the construction of a road that cut through a vital segment of Shenandoah National Park. Their differing visions for the future of the trail created a rift that ultimately prompted McKay to shoot him in the face.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm just kidding. No, they just want him to leave. So McKay left the organization. Yeah. That would have been a twist though.
Yeah, I was like fully prepared for that. I'm like, whoa, you had me, dude.
In contrast, Avery remained
each other over trees, man.
Avery remained steadfast in his commitment to the trail's integrity, demonstrating a deep dedication to preserving the natural beauty of the landscape. He made the tough decision to reroute the trail, ensuring that its scenic and cultural values were safeguarded for future generations. Avery's leadership spanned 2 full decades as chair of the ATC, from 1932 until his death in 1952. His unwavering passion for the hiking and trail conservation forged a rich legacy that continues to inspire outdoor enthusiasts and advocates for nature to this day, which is why you and I have never heard of this fucking guy. 100%. Despite his many accomplishments, Avery's tenure as a leader was marked. He had issues, okay?
Yeah, I mean, they all do.
So he had issues. And, a lot of people, like, especially, advocates of people wanting to get outdoors, especially the real big enthusiasts, they know who this guy is and everything that he did do it. So,
yeah, I mean, if you're into that whole thing, like, it goes with anything, whatever you're into, you're going to know about, and other people, most people don't.
Well, old Avery here that we're talking about, in 1936, he carved his name into the annals of outdoor history by becoming the first person to successfully traverse the entire Appalachian Trail from its southern tip to the northern reaches.
You know what? I didn't really think about that, but like he should have been the first one, right? Like,
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, why didn't he do that before?
Like, I'm like trying to say this, and I'm like, am I going to sound like an asshole?
No, he should have.
It's his goddamn trail.
Right. Absolutely. Like, they made this big thing like, oh, he carved his name into the annals of outdoor history. He should have.
Fucking right.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? And it took
like me just like calling up and being like, all right, look, dude, I need you guys to make this trail. All right, it's going to be from here to here. I don't care what it costs, what it takes, just get it done, okay? We're going to call it the Adam Moody fucking trail for the idiots, and they're going to walk, right? And then me just sitting in my chair and never getting out there to do it.
Never doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
Like he
no.
should have been the first one.
You do it eventually, but it's like 20 years later.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be the first. Yeah.
No, you would not, yeah. So now his journey, however, was not a typical through hike. Rather, it showcased his determination and spirit of adventure. The following summer, in August of 1937, the trail celebrated a remarkable milestone as it was finally extended to the scenic heights of Sugarloaf Mountain in Maine. Ooh, Sugarloaf. I don't like that name, though.
That's what I call you, isn't it? Little Sugarloaf.
Yeah, buddy. Woo, it is now. So this significant completion invigorated the Appalachian Trail Conference, inspiring them to redirect their efforts towards crucial endeavors, the preservation of the diverse ecosystems surrounding the trail, and the creation of meticulously detailed maps designed to assist hikers in navigating through this breathtaking landscape filled with stunning vistas and rich natural heritage. Right. So one of the pivotal figures in the early development of the Appalachian Trail was a guy by the name of Paul Fink.
Okay.
Unfortunate. A dedicated advocate whose efforts helped shape the trail's legacy in the challenging landscapes of Tennessee and North Carolina during the 1920s. In recognition of his significant contributions, the Appalachian Trail Conservancy honored him in 1977, dubbing him the guiding influence behind the trail's establishment. His enduring impact on the hiking community was further commemorated in 2019, so not too long ago, when he was inducted. You ready? He was inducted into the prestigious Appalachian Trail Hall of Fame. Woo!
Again.
Yes.
These fucking should be. Why did it take them so long?
Everyone's got a Hall of Fame. It's crazy. And I'm not negating that at all.
You know what? I want to see who's in the Appalachian Trail.
You should. So Fink's passionate journey with the Appalachian Trail commenced in 1922. Just a year after.
This is a different guy. Sorry, I was going to say that other guy. He should be in the fucking trail too. I hope he's in the Hall of Fame. Right?
Yeah. He has to be, right? I would hope so. Avery is his last name. The guy that hopefully is. He's the first guy. He has to be. So his journey with the trail commenced in 1922, just a year after the visionary Benton McKay, and we talked about earlier, published an influential article that laid groundwork for the trail's creation. Inspired by his bold vision, Fink took the initiative to reach out to leading figures in the hiking community across New England, seeking their insights on the feasibility and potential of constructing the trail. So basically, he's down south, they're up north, they're starting this thing, and he's like, well, wait a minute, I kind of want to jump in on this. And so he did. I see you talking.
A question real quick.
Yes.
Do you at all mention a Appalachian Hall Psychiatric Hospital in this at all?
I don't think so.
Oh, all right.
They have a psychiatric hospital there? Or they did?
I don't know if it's on the trail or not. I'm looking at that right now.
Oh, okay.
It just was like, I was looking up Appalachian Hall of Fame, and I got Hall, and then it came up with a psychiatric hospital in yeah. I didn't know if that was anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I might have to remember.
I don't remember reading that in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, okay. I'm not completely positive. So in 1936, a remarkable achievement took place as a group of veterans collaborated to fund and support a through hike spanning from Maine to Georgia along the Appalachian Trail. This ambitious endeavor was completed in an impressive 121 days by a dedicated team of 6 Boy Scouts hailing from New York City, accompanied by their knowledgeable guides. 121 days to do the whole thing? That doesn't seem too bad, right?
No.
The boys.
So is it, at this point, though, it's not as long as it is now, though, right?
Well, it's going from Maine to Georgia. Yes, I would assume it's probably like at least close to completion at this point in time. I know they did some renovation or whatever in the 70s and 80s, but yeah, I think that's kind of where it started and kind of has stayed.
That's not bad then, considering that it says 5 to 7 months normally.
That's what I'm saying. So the boys not only successfully traversed the length of the trail, but they also played a vital role in clearing and blazing nearly all of it, with only 3 miles remaining incomplete. So they're out there literally chopping shit down as they're doing this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Their accomplishment garnered significant recognition and was later officially recorded and accepted by the Appalachian Long Distance Hikers Association. How many fucking clubs are affiliated with this thing? Holy shit.
So, real quick, also, the charter class of the Appalachian Trail Hall of Fame was in 2011. You know who's in it? Our boy Myron Avery.
Yeah, there it is.
Some dude named Gene Espy.
Yeah, that's
Ed Garvey, Ben McKay.
There's Ben, all right, our buddy. Yeah.
Arthur Perkins. Did you talk about him?
We did talk about him,
right? Yeah. Some dude named Earl Schaefer.
Earl Schaefer.
Yeah,
not sure. So this association highlighted the importance of their efforts in the history of the iconic hiking route. However, the following year brought challenges for the trail. In 1938, a devastating hurricane struck the New England region, causing extensive damage to the trail infrastructure and natural landscape. This severe weather event coincided with the mountain tensions in Europe that would ultimately lead to the outbreak of World War II.
Oh, I thought you were going with tuberculosis.
No, I'm surprised that hasn't showed up yet. As the war intensified, many individuals who had been involved in the maintenance and development of the trail were called to serve in the military, resulting in a significant slowdown of trail work during this tumultuous period. That's kind of wild that they were working on it and they were like, oh, I got to go fight the Nazis, you know?
Yeah.
In 1948, Earl Schaefer, weird.
There you go.
A hiker from York, Pennsylvania, significantly raised awareness for the Appalachian Trail by announcing that he had completed what he claimed was the first through hike of the trail. Weird. This claim, however, faced scrutiny as it was revealed that Schaefer had bypassed several substantial sections of the trail by taking shortcuts and using cars. What a dick! Despite the controversy, Schaefer later asserted that he was the first person to complete a north to south through hike, eventually claiming to have hiked the trail in both directions. He sounds like he's full of shit.
Yeah.
In the years following Schaefer's hike, Chester, oh my God, this last name, Zangelewski. Not even kidding, dude. You ready for this? DZIENGIELEWSKI.
Cool.
He earned recognition as the first official southbound through hiker. Schaefer's dedicated. Yeah, it's so weird how they're.
Really quickly, the 2015 class. That's our boy Ned Anderson.
There he is. There's our boy Ned.
Yeah.
So
this guy got the first actual recognition of being a through hiker from north to south.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Schaefer's dedication to the trail continued into his later years. In 1998, at nearly 80 years old, he hiked the Appalachian Trail again, achieving the remarkable distinction of being the oldest person to complete a claimed through hike at the time.
Nice. All right.
80 years old.
That's impressive, dude.
I'm not even 50 and I get winded going to the bathroom.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might have been able to do it like when I was like 20, but
yeah. Yeah, we're pathetic. So the distinction of being the first woman to hike the trail in a single season belongs to Peace Pilgrim.
Peace?
Her name is Peace Pilgrim, which is not shocking that she would be the first woman to hike this trail with a name like Peace Pilgrim.
2019 class, Paul Fink.
Ooh, there's Mr. Fink. All right.
Yeah.
So she did this in 1952. Later, the first solo woman to complete the entire Appalachian Trail was Emma Gatewood. At the age of 67, she successfully finished the northbound trek in 1955, taking a total of 146 days to complete the challenge. Gatewood's determination was evident as she repeated this impressive feat 2 years later in 1957 and again in 1963 when she was 75 years old.
Wait, who is this?
This is a lady, her name is Emma Gatewood. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if she's in here anywhere. But
that's 75 years old.
Yeah, that's
during the 1960s? 60s? The 1960s.
In the 1960s.
In the 1960s. Significant advancements were made in the effort to safeguard the Pacific Crest Trail from encroaching development, propelled by the dedication of various politicians and government officials. One key figure in this movement was Wisconsin Senator Gaylord Nelson, who championed the introduction of legislation aimed at preserving the integrity of this vital route.
Talk about unfortunate names.
Yeah, that's a rough one. The momentum for federal protection culminated in the passing of the National Trail System Act of 1968. This landmark legislation officially designated both the Pass Crest Trail and Appalachian Trail as the inaugural national scenic trails, setting a precedent for the establishment of additional trails within the national park and national forest systems across the country. The act underscored the importance of these trails in promoting outdoor recreation and conservation, thereby ensuring their protection for future generations. So they are federally protected. Like straight up, just like, the what do you call them? Like Yellowstone and shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in collaboration with the National Park Service, dedicated trail volunteers undertook the critical task of mapping out a permanent route for the Pacific Crest Trail. Their concerted efforts bore fruit by 1971 when a definitive route was successfully marked. However, it is worth noting that small adjustments to the trail's path continue to be made as conditions change and new information becomes available. By the end of the 20th century, the National Park Service had made substantial progress in acquiring land along the trail's entire expanse, having completed the purchase of all but a few miles of its total length. This landmark achievement represented a significant milestone in the ongoing mission to protect and preserve the Pacific Crest Trail as a cherished national resource, ensuring its accessibility and enjoyment for outdoor enthusiasts for years to come. Now that everyone knows so much about the Appalachian Trail.
That's a lot.
About, what's his name, Ned Sanders or Ned Niederlander or Ned Ryerson? Me, Ned Ryerson. You remember me? Well, I sure as heck I remember you. And if you guys know the show, please drink because that's just fun. Anyway.
Oh, dude.
So now let's talk about some of these murders and some unsolved stuff and some really recent news that came out. Okay. So the first documented murder on the Appalachian Trail occurred in 1974, marking a tragic moment in the history of this beloved outdoor destination. Remember, this is first documented. Since that time, a total of 13 murders have been recorded along the trail, each with its own horrible story. The victims, their circumstances, and the events surrounding these incidents reflect a darker side to the tranquility that the trail typically represents. Over the years, these cases have sparked discussions about safety and preparedness for those who venture into the wilderness, reminding us that even in nature's beauty, unforeseen bullshit can happen. Each victim's story contributes to the complex narrative of the trail, illustrating the juxtaposition of adventure and risks that hikers may face. First up on here, who has the unfortunate distinction of being the first documented one in 1974, is Joel Polson. Okay. So in the spring of 1974...
His name was Joel Polson.
His name was Joel Polson. In the spring of 1974, a young woman named Margaret McFadden Harrett embarked on her journey as a freshman at the University of South Carolina. At just 17 years old, she was navigating the challenges and excitement of her first year in college. While balancing her studies, she also took a job waiting tables, where she fatefully met Joel Polson, a man whose presence would soon alter the course of her life. Now, Joel was 26 years old. He was 9 years older than Margaret, and their initial acquaintance, they were just friends, so there was no kind of romantic anything involved. However,
she was fucking 17.
Well, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, but then again, back then, dude, I'm surprised she doesn't have 3 kids and, and a milk pail. However, as their conversations unfolded over the course of her shifts, Margaret found herself intrigued by Joel's adventurous spirit and bold proposition. He invited her to join him, taking a little stroll down old Appalachian Trail here.
Oh.
Yeah. And, it's not really something that people thought about a whole lot back then.
What a fucking pickup line, though. Like, hey, baby, you want to walk 2,200 miles with me or what?
Yeah.
You going to do this? Come on.
I'm kind of an outdoorsy guy. I don't know if you know this about me, but you ever heard of the Appalachian Trail? No? Well, yeah, it's just a little hike. It's 2,200 miles, and baby, you're coming with me. She spits in his face and walks away. Like, what the fuck is that?
Fuck you, bitch.
So yeah, again, it wasn't as prominent, like people knew about it, but it wasn't like this big thing back in, 1974. Yeah. So after deliberation and growing sense of adventure, Margaret agreed to accompany Joel, and they both set out on their journey that May. Their adventure began in the lush green landscapes of Georgia, where the warm sun shone down in their eager faces. On the second day of their hike, they reached the Low Gap Shelter, a modest refuge nestled among the towering trees of the Appalachian Mountains. It was here, under this vast canopy of the wilderness, that Joel's life would come to an abrupt and tragic end.
Oof.
The mountain trails, which had offered promise and excitement, would soon take a turn that neither Margaret nor Joel could have foreseen, changing everything for her in an instant, and obviously for him. In the dimly lit shelter nestled in the heart of the wilderness, Harrett and Polson encountered a man who introduced himself as Ralph. Okay? Yeah, I don't ever trust a Ralph. I don't know.
When someone tells you their name is Ralph, get the fuck.
I don't think I know a Ralph. Do you know a Ralph?
I've never met anyone named Ralph.
I don't think I have.
Not that I know of, anyways, unless they went by like a middle name.
Yeah, like I don't think I can remember meeting someone named Ralph. Yeah.
Nope.
So from the only when I think of Ralph, I think of Up in Smoke, where Cheech and Chong get pulled over and Chong is thrown up on the side and Cheech just goes, "Oh, his name's Ralph."
Think of The Simpsons, dude.
Yeah. Or Ralph Malph from what is that from? That's from Happy Days, right?
Yeah.
God, we're old. Holy shit. From the moment Polson laid eyes on old Ralph here, he felt an unsettling sense of distrust. Okay, so he immediately was just like, I don't know about this dude. His fucking name's Ralph, first of all. So
that's the first thing.
Yep. So now Ralph, he lacked like the normal gear that you would actually take as a serious hiker. Okay, his clothing was all worn out and he just didn't look right. You know what I mean? And so for Joel looked at him like, okay, this is just, it's off-putting. So that night, under a canopy of stars, He confided in Harriet, his Margaret here, expressing his unease about Ralph's presence. Paulson insisted that they should leave at dawn, feeling an urgency to escape the situation. So he's like literally going, listen, this dude is just, man, I don't like old Ralph.
Yeah, there's something around. There's something with this guy, man.
Yeah. So the next morning, as Margaret...
he walks in, he's like, hi, my name's Ralph. And the other dude's just like, get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave right now.
No!
I didn't even do anything. Your name's fucking Ralph. Get out.
Yeah, exactly. So the next morning, as Margaret meticulously laced up her boots, a sudden sharp sound pierced the tranquil morning air.
Oh.
Yeah, a gunshot. Turning her head in alarm, she saw Ralph standing there, his expression hard, a gun gripped tightly in his hand. The gravity of the moment hung heavily in the air. What followed was a bewildering sequence of events. This gets really weird too. So the seemingly improbable narrative here simultaneously draws like a portrait of Joel here in his life right before he died. So Ralph, who ultimately revealed his name as Ralph Howard Fox, had initially robbed Joel of his backpack, okay? And of course, you need your backpack while you're there, and pilfered his traveler's checks, leaving them vulnerable and stranded. However, in a surprising turn, so basically, this dude, Ralph, took everything after killing Joel and kidnapped Margaret. Okay. But he chose not to kill her. Instead, he made the choice that no one could have anticipated. He would actually take her to safety. He felt bad afterwards.
What a fucking terrible criminal.
Yeah, it's so weird. So despite the fear that gripped, Margaret here, he proved to be an unlikely protector. Together, they traversed the narrow, winding trail, following it until they found a road where they managed to secure a motel for the night. Now, throughout the entire journey here, Ralph refrained from any violence, never hurt her, never did anything. He simply focused on getting her to safety, guiding her to a Greyhound station where she would finally escape this fucking dude that just killed her friend. And as she gets on this bus and pulls away, leaving this fucking crazy dude behind, she just kind of reflected on everything that happened to her and then ran and went and told the cops.
Yeah.
That's just so weird that what was it? Was he jealous? Did he see this chick and was like mesmerized by her and was like, I got to kill this motherfucker and just let her go? I don't know. It's just weird. It's such a weird story.
I don't know.
And in 1975, now moving on here.
Did they ever get a guy? They never found the guy?
No, they found him. Yeah.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah, she went and got a hold of the cops or whatever, and he ended up getting busted. I thought I had in here what happened to him, but I guess I missed that part. I'll have to look that up and maybe do a little whatever here. Or unless you want to look at it while I'm talking to folks' ears off here.
What was his name?
His name is Ralph Fox. Ralph Howard Fox. Yeah, I thought I had it in here. That's weird. So next up, we have Janice Balza. In April of 1975, a tragic and disturbing event unfolded at the Vandeventer Shelter, a popular resting spot for through hikers along the Appalachian Trail in Tennessee. Janice Balza, a vibrant 22-year-old from Madison, Wisconsin, lost her life in a shocking attack wielded by Paul Bigley, a 51-year-old individual with a troubled past from Tucson, Arizona.
These people's fucking names.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fucking Balza, Bigley, fucking Ralph, and fucking...
It is in the mid-70s, So, shortly after breakfast, Bigley struck Balza with a hatchet.
I can't listen.
I know the name. I know.
Bigley struck Balza.
Yeah, but he just fucking hit her with a hatchet as they're sitting by a campfire. Just fucking hit her.
At least she didn't see it coming.
Yeah. So Bigley, who had previously been a mental health patient, later sought refuge by surrendering to local authorities. He arrived at the home of Mrs. Ethel Whitehead, a nearby resident, where he confessed to murdering this woman. And the Vandeventer Shelter, positioned on the scenic Iron Mountain, serves as a waypoint between the intersections of TN91 and Watauga Dam Road, drawing many hikers seeking adventure and tranquility in the great outdoors. After the incident, however, law enforcement officials located the murder weapon in proximity to the shelter, further corroborating the grim nature of this event that cast a shadow over the Appalachian Trail community. Now, here, this is odd. Bigley's motive for the murder was, I'm going to give you 3 guesses. I don't think you'll get it. What do you think his motive was?
For murder?
Why did he kill her?
Well, your first instinct is some sort of sexual thing.
Okay, no.
Then you would think maybe robbery, like money and whatever.
Okay.
Probably a no.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're kind of close on that one. He just wanted her backpack.
Yeah, he was like robbing her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he just wanted, that's it. That's the whole reason that he murdered this woman.
Get her backpack.
Get her backpack. Yep. We couldn't just steal it, take it from her and run away.
I was going to say, dude, just wait till she fucking goes to bed.
You know what I mean? Take it, run. You know what I mean? Who gives a shit? Don't kill her. So the shelter, the Van Deventer shelter is, it's actually sometimes, like people say that it's haunted by Janice Balls's, her ghost. So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Hopefully she's still around. Yeah. So moving on here, 1981, Robert Mountford Jr. and Laura Susan Ramsey. Laura Susan Susu Ramsey, she was 27, and her hiking companion, Robert Mountford Jr., who was also 27, were exploring the picturesque trails of the Appalachian Mountains in Virginia. Both passionate social workers hailing from Maine, they embarked on the adventure not only for the thrill of nature, but also to raise funds for an important cause close to their hearts. So they're good fucking people. Specifically, they aim to support a school designed to assist children with mental challenges, an initiative run by Robert's mother. So this noble endeavor infused their journey with purpose as they sought to create awareness and gather financial support for a faculty that nurtures and empowers its students. Great people.
Yeah.
Out there for a great cause, doing something, you know what I mean? Fucking way cooler than I probably ever have done in my life.
So real quick, I'm trying to figure out what happened to this Ralph.
With Ralph?
So during the murder, like when this happened, like after it happened, he tied her up. Apparently he tied her up in the cabin and was about to leave her, and then was like, no, I can't leave you here. What if it's days before someone comes and you die? He's like, I can't do that. I don't want that. And he said, I didn't want to kill Joe. I just wanted his gear. I had to do it because he was such a big guy, but I've never whacked a chick before.
Jesus.
Like, that's what he fucking told her, dude. Like, you're lucky you're a woman, right? I killed you too.
Holy shit. So if they, oh my God, think about that. if you happen to have been a dude, he would have killed her or killed him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If it was like me and you, and like he took my backpack, and he probably would have just killed you too. But
wow, that's so weird. So they did catch him though. Like they got his ass. Does it say?
Yeah, I'm looking to see if
like,
it says like what happened to him.
Like, yeah, like what term he got or whatever.
Yeah.
So on May 19th of 1981, while staying at the Wapiti shelter in Giles, Virginia, Robert Mountford here was shot in the head with a .22 caliber pistol. Laura was then bludgeoned with a piece of iron and then stabbed repeatedly with a knife and a long nail.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Now, after their murders, the bodies were then wrapped in their sleeping bags and buried. Yeah. So the fucker that did this was Randall Lee Smith. He was apprehended for his involvement in a series of criminal activities after investigators discovered his fingerprints inside one of Susan's paperback novels. So he was rifling through her shit. That's some good police work. To be rifling, like they were looking at everything and they found a single fingerprint in one of her novels. That's crazy. So the significant piece of evidence led authorities to search Smith's residence, where they unearthed a peculiar note. The note detailed his harrowing claims of being abducted by 2 unidentified individuals who supposedly intended to take his life. He claims that he killed them because they abducted him. Yeah. So following a thorough investigation, Smith was ultimately located in the vibrant coastal town of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. During his apprehension, law enforcement officers employed a rather clever tactic to confirm his identity. They approached him under the pretense of being concerned about numerous severe bug bites he had received, suggesting that he required urgent medical assistance. So this ruse prompted him to provide his signature, thereby inadvertently confirming his identity. So at first he's like, I'm not telling you anything, asking for his name and stuff. And they're like, well, we're just really concerned about your face, and we want to get you some medical assistance, whatever. All you got to do is just sign right here, man, and we'll just get medical assistance for you. And he signed his real fucking name.
Really quick too. Sidebar.
Yeah,
Sorry, I keep interrupting.
Talk about Ralph here.
Yeah, Ralph. He was apparently just a giant piece of shit from like day one.
Sounds about right.
He was arrested for car theft when he was 17. In 1963, he was 20 and ran off to New Mexico with a teenage girl and was arrested for statutory rape and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. But her name was Anne, and he married her a few months later. In 1964, meaning a year later, his wife was 16. So he was with her when he was 20 and she was 15. And then she was 16 years old and expecting their son. Yeah.
Oh, God. What a piece of shit. Don't like that. Don't like any of that. No, sir.
And then in Detroit, right after that, this is while his 16-year-old wife was pregnant, he forced a Detroit high school junior into a car at gunpoint, drove her 13 miles to a wooded lover's lane in Troy, Michigan. Luckily, a cop came upon the scene as he was tying her hands behind her back.
Oh, my God. What an asshole. Oh, my God. Don't like this guy. Yeah, at all. Like, you knew, it's just one of those guys that you know he's going to kill someone someday. You know what I mean? Like, It's just, ugh. All right, so back over here to this guy here, Robert Lee Smith, the guy who got duped into writing his real name on a piece of paper. Once in custody.
Dumbass thing to do,
it's just dumb as shit.
Dude, look at your face. Let's get you some help. Sign your name. He's like,
okay.
There you go.
So he exhibited peculiar dissociative behaviors, appearing to have lost all recollection of his past. Psychiatrists conducted extensive assessments, yet their evaluations ultimately revealed that he was pretending to be suffering from amnesia. Okay? That's called malingering, folks. He was malingering.
Yeah.
This discovery cast a shadow of doubt over the authenticity of his claims, highlighting the complexity of his psychological state during the investigation. Smith was apprehended by law enforcement and transported back to Virginia, where he faced serious charges of 2 counts of murder. Remarkably, just one day prior to the start of his trial, he opted to accept a plea bargain. This agreement allowed him to plead guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder, resulting in a sentence of 30 years behind bars. Not enough. Okay, in 1996, after serving just 15 years of his sentence, he became eligible for mandatory parole due to his exemplary behavior while incarcerated. So he did well in prison, which a lot of these guys do because they need that structure, you know. So his early release sparked outrage and indignation among the families of the victims, who felt that justice had not been adequately served, and I concur. Upon his release, Smith returned to his hometown of Ingram, moving back in with his mother. To ensure he adhered to the terms of his parole, he was fitted with an electronic monitoring anklet, subjecting him to a decade of rigorous supervision. Okay, so he's on supervision basically for a year or 10 years. So this arrangement aimed to keep both the community and the victim's family informed of his whereabouts, as tension lingered in the air following his controversial release. So, like, he only served 15 years after murdering and burying 2 people. So obviously the community's like, this is fucked. We don't want this dude here, you know?
So I just want to say one more thing.
About Ralph?
Oh my God, dude.
You're on some Ralph kick.
Dude, so I'm not going to say anything else about this dude, but we have to do a bonus episode on this guy.
Do it. Let's do it.
Like, the more I'm reading on that, I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this dude?
Okay, so let's do it. All right, you heard that, folks. We're doing a bonus episode on old Ralph, whatever his name is, Fox.
It's fucking nuts, man. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
I love how excited you are right now.
I am, dude.
That's hilarious.
Because, like, I didn't expect to find all this extra. Like, I was just, like, literally looking to see what happened to him as far as after he got caught, right? And, like, I got to that part. And then after that, there's so much more shit.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. So you guys sign up for Patreon over there, and we'll talk about old Ralph. So in the meantime, back to this guy, this turd. Now that Moody's done having a hard on for Ralph over here. He's like, you know. So during the trial of Smith, the lead prosecutor presented a compelling argument regarding Smith's motivation for his actions. Alongside an acquaintance of Smith, they surmised that his profound inexperience with women played a significant role in his growing obsession with Ramsey. This obsession was ignited one fateful day when Ramsey had a brief interaction with him at a local store. So she had met this guy before. along the trail were her warm demeanor. She's a nice person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this dude was like, oh, she likes me. You know?
Yeah, because he apparently didn't have a whole lot of experience with the lady.
Right.
Man.
So embarking on a misguided attempt to flirt, Smith's advances were abruptly interrupted by, Mountford here, the dude in this that he killed, a man who was with her on this whole thing. So despite the setbacks, Smith's fixation did not wane. Instead, he chose to follow them back to their campsite under the cover of darkness. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Fucking terrifying. It was there in a tragic turn of events that Smith committed the unthinkable act of taking both of their lives. He took deliberate measures to obscure the evidence surrounding the brutal murders. He journeyed along the less traveled paths of the Appalachian Trail, meticulously removing logbooks from various shelter locations that contained information about Susu and Robert's visits. So this so he's obviously not insane. You know what I mean?
No, if he's retracing their steps and pulling out all the information from logbooks and shit, he knows.
That is wild.
He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing.
And not that he's claimed to be insane. I mean, he was kind of malingering in the beginning or whatever, but you know what I mean? He definitely is in his right mind. So eyewitnesses reported seeing Smith in the company of Mountford and Ramsey, and he casually informed other hikers that he had knowledge of the fate that had befallen them. So he's one of those guys. He's a braggart. He's going around going, oh, yeah, I heard about what happened to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When nobody knows what happened to them, because you're a fucking dumbass.
You're like, who are you talking about?
Right.
Man? Oh, nobody. Yeah. You'll find out one day.
Someone might know. It might be aliens. It was widely speculated that Smith's possible motivations for the murder stemmed from a profound attachment to the Appalachian Trail itself. He viewed fellow hikers as intruders encroaching upon his beloved domain. In 1985, the publication of Murder on the Appalachian Trail presented a harrowing theory suggesting that Smith was suffering from delusions and was immersed in a fantasy world shaped by tumultuous childhood. This troubled past may have fueled his propensity for violence against those he perceived as threats or, people that just around him. He had that thing where he's like, someone's always trying to get him. Another theory here posits that Smith's decision to target Mountford and Ramsey might have been a reaction to their roles as social workers. Their attempts to engage with him and address his evident distress, and he probably looked like a homeless dude, and they were probably like, hey, man.
Oh, right.
It may have inadvertently provoked this violent outburst.
He was like, dude, I'm just some fucking guy.
Right.
I don't need your goddamn help.
Right. I don't need your pity. Get away from me. So feeling cornered by their probing assistants, Smith's anger escalated, culminating in a horrific act of murder rather than the healing interaction that, he needed. The guy's definitely off his fucking rocker. He's not medically insane. But the crazy thing to me with this whole thing, okay, so like I said, he pled, he got out. And as far as I know, I looked it up and I didn't see anything else happen. He didn't get any more trouble after that.
Okay.
But the fucking note claiming that he was abducted by them, and so that's why he had to kill them.
Yeah, right.
And it's never even brought up after that again.
No.
And the fact, and here's the other thing too, prosecution, their fucking, their evidence must have been weak, because why take a plea for second degree?
Yeah, if you don't have...
You've got this dude on, you've got this guy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's so weird to me. So anyway, that's that asshole. Then in 1988, this is unfortunately Rebecca White. She first crossed paths with Stephen Roy Carr in a dimly lit public restroom nestled near the campground. Carr, a rugged 22-year-old with a penchant for living off the grid. I always want to say penchant. I'm sorry, but a penchant for living off the grid. Often sought refuge in a cave.
You think you're fucking better than me? Is that what this is?
So this dude loved being off the grid. He's one of these guys, and he actually stayed in caves and shit. Okay.
Cool though.
But he always carried a .22 caliber rifle over his shoulder. Okay. With a voice that carried an unsettling mix of curiosity and familiarity, he approached Rebecca asking for a cigarette. She glanced at him, her heart kind of palpitating a little bit faster here, and replied that she didn't have one. Feeling a rush of unease, she turned pretty quickly and hurried back to her campsite. And she kind of felt like this dude might be coming after her for some reason. She just had
got the creeps.
She got the creeps from the guy. So upon reaching their tent, she relayed the unsettling experience to Brenner, which is her partner. and her voice laced with urgency as she shared that someone else was lurking nearby. She's like, I can feel this dude. So
we need to fucking leave.
Yeah, like we need to get the fuck out of here now. So igniting a sense of caution in their hearts, the couple quickly dressed and resolved to seek out a more secluded spot. They wanted to, hide basically, hoping to find safety away from whoever this fucking guy is. So the couple encountered Carr again later that day when they stopped to look at their map. Okay, you're trying to get away from this fucking guy. You stop to look at your map and lift your head up, and this dude's standing in front of you. Yeah, that's just, I'm shitting my pants. That's it. I hope I brought extra because it's done. So they eventually set up camp at a new location. They ate dinner and began to make sweet, sweet love. All right. Unfortunately, they were too preoccupied with this lovemaking and didn't realize they were being watched by Carr from 82 feet away. He then fired 8 bullets. Jesus. Oh, by the way, just so when I said partner earlier, Brenner is also a woman.
Oh, they're both women.
Correct.
Okay.
And it kind of it kind of does in this story, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. That's kind of why I made it a point to say that.
All right.
Yeah. All right, calm down. So he fired 8 shots at the women, right? Brenner was hit 5 times in the arm, face, head, and neck. White, which is her name is spelled Wight.
Yeah, okay.
I've never seen it spelled like that before. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. Anyway, she was shot
Very
twice
European.
In the head and in the back. Okay. The last shot shattered her liver, and then the eighth one missed. Okay, so 7 shots connected. He's just sitting there popping them off into the tent. So White, she just laid helplessly on the ground, unable to get up. So Brenner, I just want you to, everyone put this into, visualize this entire thing. This woman was just shot 5 times. Her girlfriend, significant other or whatever, is laying there with 2 bullets in her that she can't even move. So Brenner gets up and takes a 4-mile trek along rugged paths to reach the nearest road. Okay, with 5 bullets in her. Okay, so with determination fueling her steps, she eventually flagged down a passing vehicle and secured a ride to the Shippensburg police station. Upon their return to the scene, the officers were met with a tragic sight. White, unfortunately, was lifeless and pale. She had passed away due to the bullet wounds. So Carr was convinced that both women, so he thought he killed them both, right? This piece of shit.
Joke's on you, bitch.
Yeah, he thought he killed them both. So in the aftermath, he threw away about 25 rounds of ammunition, scattered all over the place. He was just kind of like, meh, alongside a dark knit cap. Like, he was like, meh. I don't know. But he threw away a hat that he had on his head when he shot the women. And the police would later discover all of this evidence. For 10 days, Carr found refuge among the members of a secluded Mennonite community, which is the weirdest fucking thing in this entire story, possibly. Yeah. And within this tranquil enclave, and if you guys aren't familiar with Mennonite, how the hell would you describe Mennonite?
It's a version of Amish.
Right, but they're Amish that can drive cars.
Yeah, I think the Mennonites are less strict than like...
Yeah, I think they can have like some electrical things like to help around like, the farms and stuff, and they can actually drive. I remember the first time I saw a Mennonite driving, it was a van full of them, a minivan. Yeah. And I was just like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be doing that. I don't know. It was weird. So anyway, this is where he wound up. So obviously they're there, or he's there in this Mennonite community, and news doesn't really get there very quickly. You know what I mean?
Right. So real quick, sorry. The difference is so Amish avoid technology while Mennonites use electricity, phones, and things like that. Right. Amish use buggies and scooters while some Mennonites use cars. Mennonites don't dress like as plain as the Amish, like they can dress a little more modern and stuff like that, it says.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Amish emphasize separation from the world, while Mennonites are more integrated into society, and the Amish focus on maintaining their way of life, while Mennonites are more active in missionary work.
Okay. So they're like, I don't know, they're Amish light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, that's, yeah. It's like, It's like when you want to do something, but you can't really fully commit to it.
Exactly. It's like, listen, I'll have the beard, but I'm drinking a beer. You know what I mean? Fuck all that.
Yeah.
So this guy, Carr, this turd, he's in this Mennonite community, and he actually like starts like dressing and just kind of blending in. Okay. However, fate took an unexpected turn when one vigilant member, having secretly indulged in the cursed flickers of a television set, how dare he recognized Carr from a composite sketch that had recently been plastered all over the news.
How fucking unlucky is that,
right.
dude?
It's amazing.
The one Amish guy that's watched TV ever.
And he's probably not even, I mean, they're Mennonites, so they're probably allowed to do it. But this dude probably like snuck away, had it turned down real low, and he's watching the news, and all of a sudden he's like, the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, holy shit.
That's the new guy.
Yeah. Hezekiah, run here. You know? The police, I'm sorry, let me back up a little bit here. So, of course, the alarm bells rang, and they basically called the cops. So the police apprehended Carr under a warrant issued by Florida, charging him with the serious crime of grand larceny. Okay. In a pivotal, there it is with that damn word, pivotal. Why do I say pivotal? Because I'm an idiot. In a pivotal moment of the legal proceedings, Carr chose to waive his right to a jury trial, negotiating a deal with the prosecution that spared him from the death penalty.
What a pussy.
Dun, dun, dun. So during the trial,
to me is like the ultimate sign of just a big giant pussy.
Yeah.
You can't go around fucking killing people and be like, please don't kill me.
Right.
I don't want to die.
Right. So during the trial, Carr presented a narrative steeped in emotional turmoil, asserting that he had been consumed by a fierce rage upon witnessing two women engage in an intimate act. How dare they?
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's pretending that he was offended by two women going at it, even though he was probably really turned on by it.
And he also followed them there and was voyeuristically watching them from 82 feet away.
Yeah.
It's not like they just showed up in front of him and were like, hey, check it out. You know what I mean? That didn't happen.
Yeah.
So this guy he's just a complete asshole.
Jerking off the whole time.
Yeah, right, exactly. He alleged that their bold display of passion felt like a taunt directed at him, igniting an uncontrollable fury within inside him. Oh. His public defender said he was a fucking idiot. No, he painted a troubling picture of Carr's past, revealing that he had endured horrific sexual abuse during his childhood and had been raped while incarcerated in a Florida prison.
Oh, yeah.
Right. The attorney argued that the couple's expression of their lesbian relationship acted as a catalyst for Carr's inexplicable rage. How dare they? Suggesting that the very sight of their love had provoked a violent response born from deep-seated trauma and betrayal.
It is like the most victim blaming thing I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Ridiculous. So
the only reason they're dead is because they were lesbians.
Yes. Right.
It's like, what? You're really like, how is that supposed to be a defense for anything?
It's so stupid. It is.
Like, if my defense attorney came up with that, I'd just be like, bro, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
This is your plan to get me like really?
Just laugh at him the entire time. Like, you fuckhead.
Like, can I get a new one? This guy is fucking terrible.
So the presiding judge in the case made a decisive ruling rejecting the defense's request to present evidence regarding Carr's psychosexual history, deeming it irrelevant to the proceedings.
You know what? Good.
Yes. This pivotal decision had significant...
Hey,
I got it right. I got it. Had significant consequences for the defense strategy, obviously, as it also included the prohibition of discussing the complex relationship between Brenner and White during the trial. So in other words, they couldn't even bring up that they were, in fact, lesbian lovers.
When was this? What year was this?
1981, is that correct? 88, sorry.
And they were that like fucking...
Yeah, it's stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
I get it. The times were different.
I guess. I don't know.
1988, though, like it was starting to be a little more, normalized.
You would think. Yeah. So as a result, the defense team was compelled to negotiate a plea bargain.
You're like, well, we're fucked.
Yeah, literally looked at him and was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. What else do you got?
He just looked at them like, that was the best you had? Really? Like, that's what you gave me?
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, you couldn't have said you were crazy? You could have done something else?
You know how many different things we could have told them? That's what you went with?
Right. We could have picked any other defense. So as a result, they had to throw in a plea bargain, ultimately agreeing to a sentencing arrangement of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
Fuck that guy.
So fuck him. So on March 8th of 1991, Carr's legal team sought to overturn this ruling by filing an appeal that centered on the court's refusal to permit the introduction of evidence related to his psychosexual background.
The defense files the appeal. They're like, on what grounds? He's like, he was really, really upset that they were lesbians in front of him. Like, I don't think you guys understand how mad he was at this.
Like, he really, really doesn't like lesbians. You don't get it.
They're like, you don't have anything new? He's like, no, like, I just want you to understand that he was mad, like really mad.
Well, the
judge is just like, bro.
The Superior Court of Pennsylvania pretty much told him to fuck off and basically said, no, we're not going to do that, and upheld the decision, denying.
Have to do with it anyway, dude.
Denying Carr's appeal and leaving him to face the consequences of his actions without any chance for early release. So he is in prison forever. Bye-bye.
Like, you just picture that, like they're in the middle of like deliberating, right? And they're like, yeah, definitely this guy's guilty as fuck. And then somebody finds out they were lesbians, and all of a sudden the whole jury's like, wait, well, let's rethink what we're talking about here.
Yeah,
like,
it's
not that critical, dude.
Yeah,
like,
it's so stupid. It's so dumb. But I mean, there have been cases before where people have maybe not gotten, completely off. But that's a weird way to put that. But
I guess it's different. I guess it's different now, though. But like that, like you're literally what this guy was saying was like, it's not his fault he committed a hate crime.
Right.
Like, bro, that is textbook definition. Like, that's a fucking hate crime.
Yeah, 100%.
He's admitting to a hate crime.
Right. And in
I
reality,
got so mad that they were lesbians that I fucking killed them.
And in reality, he's probably just jealous. For
real. Like their defense was like admitting to a hate crime.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
It's so stupid. Yeah, if anything, they should have fucking.
Wonder why he didn't win that case.
Yeah. All right, so now in 1990, we have the unfortunate case of Jeffrey Hood and Molly LaRue. Jeffrey Hood, a spirited 26-year-old from the picturesque Signal Mountain, Tennessee, and Molly LaRue, a vibrant 25-year-old hailing from the charming Shaker Heights, Ohio.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, buddy. Which
when
is
was this?
Real close. This is 1990.
That's like 15 minutes from here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's pretty close to home for us. Well, they found their paths intertwined in the heart of Salina, Kansas. They met at a church-sponsored program dedicated to supporting vulnerable young people where lives converge in unexpected ways. So, again, they're good people, right? After both faced the uncertainty of layoffs, they made a bold decision to embark, very bold, on an adventure that would last 6 transformative months, hiking the majestic Appalachian Trail. Okay?
Well, there you go. They lost their jobs.
They said, fuck it, let's do this, Their journey began on June 4th of 1990 at the breathtaking summit of Mount, Katahdin? Katahdin. Katahdin. Kaathahdin.
Yeah,
yeah, I got it. Okay. Jeffrey adopted the trail name Clevis. I don't know why. Reflecting his sturdy and dependable nature, while Molly embraced the moniker of Nalgene, a nod to her practical spirit and love for the outdoors. So they literally went out on this thing like, listen, I'm going to be Clevis. Who are you going to be? And she said, Nalgene.
I wonder if it's supposed to be Clevis.
Well, it's Clevis, so maybe it is Clevis. What's the difference?
It's a Clevis is like it's a climbing thing. It's like use it for like climbing or whatever.
Oh, maybe it's, I don't know. Clevis sounded more hillbilly to me, so I like that one. But yeah, it's Clevis, so probably, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if he went with that because of the outdoor implication. Like, I wonder if it's Clevis.
Yeah, you made it sound like I'm an idiot. Anyway, on a crisp day on September 11th of 1990, the couple reached Duncannon, Pennsylvania, a quaint town that marked a significant milestone on their journey, just a stone's throw away from the halfway point of their expedition. They opted for a night of comfort at the iconic Doyle Hotel, nestled along the trail, reveling in the warmth and camaraderie it offered after many nights spent cozily tucked in their tent or within the rustic communal trail shelter. So they're like, we're halfway through. Let's get a fucking hotel room. What do you think?
Yeah.
Which,
treat yourself, man.
Yeah, this sounds good to me. So this brief respite was a delightful treat for the adventurous couple, allowing them to recharge and celebrate the hope and wonder that lay ahead on their remarkable journey. They're so excited. They're young. They're just, you know what I mean? It's full of piss and vinegar. Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what, John? And this has to have a happy ending then, right?
Oh, no. So on September 12th of 1990, Jeff and Molly returned to the trail, reaching the Thelma Mark shelter, which is located near the top of Cove Mountain. The shelter is a 3-sided lean-to situated about 30 feet from the trail and surrounded by trees. So it's not even a shack. It's not a shanty. It's a 3-sided lean-to. So it's just a place to hide under, to get some shelter. So on the morning of September 13th, the couple was asleep in their sleeping bags when Jeff was shot 3 times with a 22 caliber pistol.
The 22.
I probably because they're smaller and you can get like small woodland creatures without making a lot of noise.
I feel like that's the dumbest gun to kill someone with.
I mean, it's what the mob uses. Well, that and 38s, but anyway. So he was shot in the head, back, and abdomen. Forensic evidence after the event showed that Molly was bound with a rope looped to her neck before she was sexually assaulted and stabbed to death. Then her neck and throat were slashed, and she was stabbed in the back 8 times with an 8 3/4 inch double-edged blade. That's a fucking Rambo knife, bro. Like, think about that. That's one of them big fuckers.
Yeah.
8 times in her back. Oh, later that day on September 13th, Cindy and Brian Bowen, also hikers who went by the trail name The Lone Moccasins. Why does everyone have trail names? It's so weird. Discovered the scene while looking to use a shelter for the event. So these poor people were walking along on the trail and found these 2 bodies, basically. So Molly was found face down in a pool of blood with her hands tied behind her back, while Jeff was found partially naked, holding a white shirt in his hand. The Bowens returned to Duncannon, the nearest town, to report the crime to the authorities. On September 21st, what is wrong with my mouth today? Fuck. On September 21st, a man was spotted in the vicinity of the murder site carrying 2 red Marlboro gym bags. Witnesses reported that he was dressed in jeans and work boots and appeared out of place on the hiking trail. Yeah, the dude looks like he just got off, a manual labor job, and here he's in the middle of a hiking trail. So later that day, 2 hikers encountered an individual on the trail who was wearing gear belonging to Jeff Hood, including his backpack and boots. The hikers reported their observation to the National Park Service. The individual was apprehended while attempting to cross Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, that's not too far from where I'm from. Right around 8 p.m. Upon arrest, it was confirmed that he was indeed wearing Jeff Hood's backpack, boots, and watch. So somebody probably saw Jeff Hood wearing that shit and was like, hold on a second, because I'm also going to assume that this is like a week later, that word has probably been spun around, and we're not spun around, but put out there that these people were murdered,
that they were killed.
Yeah. So additionally, he was found to be in the possession of 2 murder weapons, a knife, a big fucking knife, and a 22 caliber Winchester pistol. So Jeff and Molly were looking forward to the weekend when they planned to meet their parents on Harper's Ferry to celebrate reaching the halfway mark of their hike on the Appalachian Trail. During one of their phone calls home, they had hinted at something special, leading their families to speculate that an engagement announcement might be forthcoming. They were about to be engaged when this fucking guy did this. That just makes it that much more sad, dude. Like, fuck. So meanwhile, the man detained by the police identified himself as David Casey Horn. However, upon questioning, the police determined that this identity was fake. It was actually Paul David Cruz, an ex-Marine. Authorities had a warrant for his arrest in Florida, where he had been on the most wanted list in 1986 for a murder he committed in Bartow. Okay, so this dude's been on the fucking run since 1986. So ever since his return from military service, he had displayed increasingly erratic behavior that alarmed those around him. His second wife recounted a chilling incident from 1977 in Indiana, where she awoke to him lurking behind her in bed with a cold bayonet pressed threateningly against her throat. The shadow of that night loomed over their lives, leading to their eventual divorce. Yeah, I believe a divorce is going to happen if you have a fucking bayonet next to somebody's fucking neck. On July 3rd of 1986, the authorities were gripped by the unsettling certainty that he had taken the life of a woman who had unwittingly offered him a ride. Just days later, on July 7th, they charged him with murder. Yet, in a calculated move, he slipped away, fleeing to North Carolina, where his brother awaited him. Together, they orchestrated a desperate escape, with his brother providing a getaway and cash to help him avoid the long arm of the law. What the fuck? First of all, he killed a woman that offered him a ride.
Yeah.
So he just murdered this lady, and then his fucking brother's like helping him avoid the authorities.
Yeah, these are some good people.
It's fun.
That's fucking ridiculous.
It's stupid. So as the investigation unfolded, the evidence began to mount against Cruz. His DNA was found matching the semen discovered on the lifeless body of Molly, painting a damning portrait of his involvement. Fucking gross. Coupled with the weapons and various pieces of incriminating evidence recovered in and around the shelter, the authorities found themselves armed with a compelling case that left little doubt about his involvement. The trial that commenced, it was on May 15th in 1991, saw the defendant, known as Cruz here, attributing his violent actions to a combination of cocaine and alcohol use.
Oh, well, then, you know what? Just forget everything happened.
Oh, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, we didn't know you had alcohol and cocaine in your system. We're so sorry to have bothered you.
Why didn't you just say that when we arrested you?
If you had just said that.
We wouldn't have had to do all this paperwork.
Yeah. So, however, the prosecution presented compelling forensic evidence linking Cruz to the crime. A firearm recovered from his possession was test fired, and the ballistic results indicated a fucking match with the bullets taken from the body of the victim for Jeffrey here. So as a result of this evidence, Cruz was found guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder, leading to the imposition of 2 death sentences.
Good. Fuck it. Kill him, bring him back, kill him again.
In a significant turn of events in 2006, Cruz made the decision to forego his appeals, opting instead for a plea deal that resulted in 2 life sentences without the potential for parole. And for you nerds out there that know, like, with the law and like with trials and stuff, they can say, okay, we're going for the death sentence. Okay. Death penalty's on the fucking table. And if somebody goes, okay, I'll go ahead and waive all of my appeals, meaning I'll never, ever, ever be in front of the court again, and you'll never hear from me again.
Right.
Because when you get a death sentence or whatever, I'm pretty sure it's like unlimited appeals, right?
I don't know. No, you have a certain amount.
But you still have a lot of them.
You have I think you get like a couple, and then like you can't do unless like something like ridiculous comes out. Like there's like 100% proof that you didn't do it or something like
new information and shit like that. Yeah. Well, regardless,
a couple appeals and that's it.
Yeah. Regardless though, for the courts though, it's easier just for them to be like, okay, just go fucking die in a prison cell somewhere and leave us alone. So this arrangement was reportedly met with approval from the relatives of the victims, who felt it provided a measure of closure. Perry County District Attorney Charles Chenot confirmed that the agreement was reached with the consent of the victims' families, emphasizing the desire to bring some resolution to a very painful chapter in their lives. Yeah, I mean, you could go after, but you know what that also does too? If you're going for the death penalty, and let's just say it goes all the way up to that, you're going to be involved in that case forever until that dude is put to death. And even then, you are now having that in your, even if you wanted him to die, you still have that there, you know? Him rotting in prison someplace, you can maybe kind of put it away, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. So 1996 now. We now have Julianne Williams and Lolly Winans, which is very difficult when I was looking at these because I thought it was both Williams. And then finally I was like, wait a minute, those are 2 totally different last names. Okay, so this case, by the way, folks, and I got to give one of these real fast. This case was actually unsolved until June of last year, 2024.
Oh, shit.
It was just recently solved. So the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Richmond Field Office, in collaboration with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Virginia, had announced a significant breakthrough in the haunting case of 2 women whose lives were tragically cut short in the serene wilderness of Shenandoah National Park, Virginia, back in 1996. Okay. So Lolly Winans and Julie Williams were savagely murdered at their campsite nestled near the iconic Skyland Resort on the fateful day of May 24th of 1996. When the pair failed to return home as scheduled, concerned family members promptly alerted the National Park Service, sparking a desperate search in the lush, sprawling landscapes of the park. After an extensive and exhaustive effort by park rangers combing through the dense woods and rolling hills, the lifeless bodies of the two women were discovered on June 1st of 1996, marking a tragic conclusion to, this horrible search that had gone on for weeks, So in 2021, the FBI's Richmond division designated a specialized investigation team. Shut up. Sean Connery came out. I'm sorry. It did. Investigation. To undertake a comprehensive and methodical review. Sorry. They came out and basically they created a team, to look at this cold case because it's unsolved and it's in it's the fucking Appalachian Trail. People go there all the fucking time.
It's Appalachian.
I'm sorry, Appalachian. So the dedicated team comprising seasoned FBI agents, special agents, skilled intelligence analysts, and various supportive personnel from the Richmond office meticulously reassessed an extensive array of leads and interviews collected over the years. They devoted countless hours to identifying and prioritizing key pieces of evidence retrieved from the crime scene, ensuring no detail was overlooked. So they were like, we need to solve this. So to advance their investigation, the team submitted selected items to a highly regarded, accredited private forensic lab for advanced analysis. Oh, hey, folks, this is another one that DNA helped solve. So in a significant breakthrough, the lab successfully extracted DNA from several of these evidence samples. Working in collaboration with the Virginia State Police, the DNA profile was subsequently entered into the FBI's CODIS system, which is the Combined DNA Index System, and I do want to do an episode on that one of these days. This effort yielded a crucial development, a positive match to, a Walter Leo Jackson Sr., born on November 2nd, 1947. Jackson, a notorious convicted serial rapist, hails from, are you ready for this? The Cleveland, Ohio area.
What the fuck?
Dude, we can't get away from it. What the fuck? And has a history of heinous crimes that contributed to the urgency of his renewed investigation. Quote, even though we had this DNA match, we took additional steps and compared evidence from Lolly and Julie's murders directly to a buccal swab, or is BUCCAL. I think that's where they swab either the inside of your nose or maybe your throat. Okay. Anyway,
I don't know.
But that contained Jackson's DNA. The results confirmed we had the right man and finally could tell the victims' families we know who was responsible for this heinous crime, said Stanley M. Medor, the FBI Richmond special agent in charge. Quote,
what is the guy's name?
Walter Leo Jackson Sr. So, quote, after 28 years, we are now able to say who committed the brutal murders of Lolly Winans and Julie Williams in Shenandoah National Park. United States Attorney Christopher R. Kavanaugh said, quote, I want to again extend my condolences to the Winans and Williams families and hope today's announcement provides some small measure of solace, end quote. In March of 2018, within the stark confines of a prison in Cuyahoga County, Ohio.
I'm looking at it right now, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. A man known by the alias Leo, officially named Jackson, breathed his last. Jackson's life was marked by a turbulent history marred by heinous acts that include kidnapping, rapes, and violent assaults. That's right. They solved this after the dude was dead. Yeah, it's kind of fucked.
Here, he was 1984 through 89. He was in Geauga County Jail. 94 to May of 94 to September 94, Cuyahoga County Jail. August 2000 to May 2007, Cuyahoga County Jail.
Jesus.
May 12th until his death in Cuyahoga County Jail.
Yep.
That's like 15 minutes the other way from me. Dude, how fucked up is that too? A girl from Shaker gets killed. A guy from Cleveland's doing some killing on the fucking trail, bro.
And all within like a half hour from you. Right. Well, not saying it happened there, but I'm saying that's where they're from.
Yeah, dude, that's nuts, man.
It says our dedicated investigative team has relentlessly sought to uncover the layers of Jackson's past, collaborating closely with our partners at the Cleveland Police Department and the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office to glean further insights into his shadowy activities over the years. By trade, Jackson was a residential painter, a profession that perhaps belied the darkness of his soul. He found solace in nature, frequently wandering the trails of Shenandoah National Park, where the beauty of the landscape starkly contrasted with the turmoil within him. During the time surrounding the tragic murders of Lolly and Julie, he was believed to have been behind the wheel of a distinctive 1984 chestnut brown AMC Eagle.
Yeah, they talked about that. In the thing
My mother had the exact same car. A vehicle that held secrets.
This guy, your mom?
Maybe. The vehicle that held secrets of the crimes he was entangled in. In the wake of that, he transitioned to a 1979 Ford Econoline 250 van, a vessel. Yeah, aka a rape van, a vessel of displacement and anonymity. Jackson was notorious for his cunning maneuvers. He relied on temporary tags, altered license plates, and frequently shifted from one vehicle to another, making it difficult for law enforcement to track his movements. Each vehicle change was a new disguise, each journey a step further into the abyss. And the FBI will continue to work with law enforcement partners to determine if Jackson is responsible for possible other unsolved crimes. So if you have any information about this dirtbag, you can call 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit online at tips.fbi.gov.
This is Walter Leo Sr.?
Yes. Walter Leo Jackson Sr. Yeah. So how crazy is that, though, that not only is that dude from Cleveland, where we're from, but it was just recently solved, and he died in prison, and they still fucking solved it.
Like 20 minutes from where we live.
It's just a crazy story. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
So now in 2001, we have Louise. I want to say it's Chaput. It's CHAPUT. So it could be kaput.
But you say it all fancy, like when you say that other word, you'd be like, chapeau.
Chaput. I didn't want to say kaput, though, because it just sounds, because she's no longer with us.
The last name is Chaput.
Chaput. Yeah, I think Chaput I'm going to go with. So at 52 years old, Canadian Louise Chaput was a vibrant and self-employed psychologist with a deep passion for the great outdoors. An avid hiker, she often reveled in the tranquility of nature, whether embarking on adventures with friends or more frequently embracing the solitude of the wilderness on her own. Armed with her hiking gear, she would head into the enchanting woods for days at a time, soaking in the beauty and the serenity that only nature can offer. On November 15th of 2001, with a heart full of adventure, Louise departed from her cozy home in Sherbrooke, Quebec. Her destination was the majestic Mount Washington, a stunning gem along the Appalachian Trail, known as, Agiokokuk. Fuck. Agioccochook. Agiokokuk. I'm going to move on. By various Native American tribes. Mount Washington towers at an impressive 6,288 feet. And impressive, yes. That's a different word for that. Proudly claiming the title of the highest peak in the northeastern United States. It is celebrated. Yeah, you guys learned something new there. It is celebrated not only for its elevation, but also for its striking topographical prominence, standing out as a sentinel in the landscape east of the Mississippi River. Yeah.
Right, here I got, this is the official pronunciation, by the way.
Ooh.
Hopefully it'll come through here.
Okay.
Appalachian.
So it's Appalachian.
Appalachian.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the preferred. That is the preferred pronunciation.
Preferred nomenclature.
Look, you could slow it down. What's it sound like? Slow down.
Appalachian. Sounds drunk. So Louise crossed the border into the United States at Norton, Vermont at precisely 11:45 a.m. Just under an hour later at 12:50 p.m., a receipt discovered in her vehicle confirmed that she had stopped at the Pick Quick convenience store in Colebrook, New Hampshire, where she likely picked up some snacks for her journey. At 3 p.m., she was last spotted at the Appalachian Mountain Club's visitor center, located in Pinkham Grant, New Hampshire. The clerk on duty recalled that Louise had a distinctive French accent when she entered the center. Expressing her desire to stretch her legs after a long day of driving, she mentioned that she was looking to embark on a brief hike before nightfall. After engaging with the clerk, who recommended the nearby Lost Pond Trail along Route 16, a short yet picturesque path that meandered through the woods, Louise set off a few minutes later in her car. Tragically, she has never been seen again. Despite having made an advance reservation at the lodge run by the Appalachian Mountain Club, she never returned, leaving behind a growing sense of concern among those who knew she was expected. On November 19th of 2001, the air grew heavy with concern as Louise never returned home, prompting her partner to alert the authorities to her disappearance. The ensuing search unfolded amid the autumn hues of the mountains, and on November 20th, her silver Ford Focus was discovered parked at the Glen Falls parking area, a silent testament to her unfulfilled journey. And it's so fucking sad.
Good to find the car.
Just 2 days later, in the shadow of Thanksgiving, a group of hikers stumbled upon a tragic scene. Yeah. Louise's lifeless body, found a mere 200 yards from the Glen Boulder Trail and a quarter mile from the rustic lodge that served as a gateway to Mount Isolation. It seems she had chosen the more demanding path, forsaking the easier, well-trodden Lost Pond Trail for the rugged wilderness that awaited her. An autopsy later unveiled a horrifying truth here. Louise had met with foul play, her life brutally extinguished by multiple stab wounds that marred her entire body. Further adding to the tragedy, her cherished dark blue Canuck sleeping bag, a blue backpack adorned with Canadian insignia, and her car keys, elegantly embellished with an S pendant, had vanished from both her pack and her vehicle, leaving an unsettling void in the memories of those who loved her. And that case is still unsolved.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they have no idea. I'm sure they have a couple different leads or whatever, but nothing even remotely substantial to even say that they have
I feel like if more people knew about that fucking backpack and that sleeping bag, somebody would know that guy.
Yeah.
Or girl, whoever it was.
Yeah. I mean, why take it though? You know what I mean?
I feel like if you took something like that, you're going to fucking use it, almost like flaunt it because, you know what I mean? Because it's like so cool or whatever.
Yeah. It's so weird. All right. And then in 2008, now we're moving towards Meredith Hope Emerson, who was born on June 20th of 1983. She was a 24-year-old woman whose life was tragically cut short in 2008 by the sinister acts of drifter Gary Mitchell Hilton. On the serene morning of New Year's Day, she set out on a hike with her beloved black Labrador retriever, Ella, in the breathtaking wilderness of Blood Mountain in northern Georgia. The air was crisp and the trails beckoned with promises of adventure, as witnesses later described seeing her alongside an older man on the Spur Trail, a winding path that meanders between the Appalachian Trail and the Byron Herbert Reese parking lot. What was so funny?
I just feel like if you're going hiking at somewhere called Blood Mountain, it's just not going to end good.
It's a little ominous. It's definitely ominous. Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, where's this trail take us? We got to go over Blood Mountain. Is there another trail? I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad idea. So when Meredith failed to return home by January 2nd, her friends were obviously enveloped in worry and began a desperate search, scouring the mountainous terrain. But the efforts bore zero fruit. Days passed and the uncertainty grew heavier upon their hearts. It was not until January 4th, 2008 that Ella was discovered wandering alone in Cumming, Georgia, nearly 60 miles from where they last set foot together. Okay, this is her dog. So her dog is 60 miles away from where they were together. And they found the dog, which is a haunting reminder of the bond that they had shared and the mystery that now shrouded Meredith's fate. So, what the fuck happened here? So on January 3rd of 2008, the search took a dramatic turn when authorities discovered Emerson's 1995 Chevy Cavalier parked ominously in a desolate area. Inside the vehicle, they unearthed various personal items that told a silent story. Her half-empty water bottle lay discarded. A dog leash was tangled and just all fucked up. And a police baton hinted at a darker mystery. So there, literally a baton was in the back of the seat, like just chilling there. All eyes turned to a local drifter, a grim figure haunting the fringes of society, a 61-year-old Gary Michael Hilton, who emerged as a person of interest in Emerson's enigmatic disappearance. The following day, on January 4th, the investigation took a critical step forward. A witness at a Chevron gas station, her voice trembling with urgency, reported to the DeKalb Police Department here. Quote, "The guy you're looking for is cleaning out his van." That's fucking yikes.
Yeah.
In a swift response, that's not good. Officers raced over there, arriving just in time to confront Hilton, who was attempting to scrub away evidence with bleach, a chemical scent hanging heavily in the air. That's not at all obvious, by the way, folks. Yeah, that's not at all. Not at all. Crime scene analysts quickly scoured the interior of his van, recovering blood samples that would later be definitely matched to Emerson's DNA. Hilton was arrested and charged with the murder, a chilling conclusion to the frantic search. Amidst the unfolding horror, a glimmer of hope emerged. Ella, Emerson's beloved canine companion, was found alive, like we said, and wandering aimlessly in a Kroger parking lot in Cumming. The sight of the bewildered dog brought tears to the eyes of the Emerson's family as she was safely returned to them. Yet the sense of relief was obviously short-lived. So it's like, oh, hey, we found the dog. I feel they might make me feel worse.
Yeah, dude. If I just found the dog, I'd be like, whoa, okay, well.
Yeah, it's
like, to me, that's like the confirmation that something is, shit ain't right.
See, the dog's not just going to run away. You know what I mean?
No.
She seems like, she's probably a good dog parent. So the very next day, more of Emerson's belongings surfaced in a dumpster near a Quick Trip, a grim collection that included her bloodied clothing, wallet, driver's license, a University of Georgia ID card, and a blood-stained seatbelt from her own car. Each item served as a haunting reminder of the tragedy that had unfolded, deepening the shadows cast by Hilton's actions here. So the prosecution made a significant concession, agreeing to remove the death penalty from consideration and even promising to find a new home for Hilton's beloved dog, Dandy, on the condition that Hilton would guide them to the location of Emerson's body. They were literally like, listen, we're not going to have the death penalty. And your dog will find a home for it, buddy. Just come on. Just let it, just take us where she is, which I don't know if I've ever heard that used in a criminal case before. Yeah, I'm sure it has been, but I just never heard of that before. So Hilton, perhaps feeling the weight of his choices, acquiesced and ultimately led investigators to the site where Emerson lay. In a chilling account, Hilton recounted how the tragic sequence of events unfolded. He had approached Emerson, seeking her debit card and her PIN. When she hesitated and could not provide the correct number, the situation escalated dramatically, leading to 4 harrowing days of captivity that culminated in her tragic death at his hands with a tire iron.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, fun guy. He's a good dude. Despite the horror of his actions, he revealed a strange reluctance to harm Dandy, expressing a sense of empathy for the dog. Reflecting on his time with Emerson, Hilton reflected, quote, "It was hard. You got to remember we had spent several good days together," highlighting the unsettling complexity of the relationship in the midst of this chilling confession. And by the way, I don't think they meant Dandy. Like he couldn't hurt Ella, her dog.
Yeah.
I think that was a misspelling or whatever in there.
Say, I think because Dandy was his dog.
Right. So
he hurt his own dog anyway.
But what they're saying there is this dude saying, it was hard. You got to remember we had spent several good days together. So now he's attached to her dog, and he was kind of attached to her 4 days of this whole thing. And she was probably like trying to reason with him, trying to talk to him. And you know what I mean? So it's fucking horrible. So on January 30th of 2008, Gary Hilton entered a guilty plea for the brutal murder of Emerson here, leading to a sentence of life imprisonment. The sentence included the possibility of parole after 30 years, making a contention.
Fucking 90 years old.
Say what?
Wouldn't he have been 90 years old then?
Who's that?
The guy that killed this girl. Didn't you say he was 61 years old?
In 2008. This all happened in 2008.
Right. So he was 61 years old when he got caught, and they sentenced him to life in prison with possibility of parole after 30 years. Yeah. So he would have been fucking 90 years old anyway.
Yeah. So obviously that's kind of what they wanted to do here. He's not getting out of prison.
Like I'm telling you right now, that was just like a fuck you to him. But like, yeah, when we'll grant you parole in 30 years. And he's just like, oh, parole. Wait a minute. You motherfuckers, like it was like one last fuck you. Just
right.
Like, ha ha.
So now subsequently, Hilton was implicated in a chilling series of additional murders, including the tragic slayings of an elderly couple, John and Irene Bryant, who were 80 and 78 respectively in October of 2007 in North Carolina. The couple's bodies were discovered in a remote area, and investigators uncovered evidence that linked Hilton to this act. Additionally, in December of 2007, he was charged with the murder of 46-year-old Cheryl Dunlap, who was a dedicated nurse in Florida. Her body was found in a secluded forested area, creating a pattern of predatory behavior that horrified communities across the Southeast. Further compounding the investigation, there was speculation surrounding Hilton's potential involvement in the 1997 murder of Judy Smith. This conjecture arose due to the striking similarities in the condition in which both Smith and one of Hilton's victims were found, particularly the manner of concealment, suggesting a possible serial pattern to Hilton's acts of violence. So in 2011, after a comprehensive trial, Hilton faced a jury for Dunlap's murder. The evidence presented was compelling, and he received a death sentence for that one, underscoring the gravity of his actions. A year later, Hilton chose to plead guilty to the kidnapping and murder of the Bryants, resulting in an additional life sentence. So now it's 2 life sentences, basically. Well, the one's basically 30 years and then the death sentence is going to take precedence of all that. So these proceedings highlighted the extensive and tragic impact of Hilton's violent crimes across multiple states, leaving a lasting scar on the communities affected. He was a serial killer.
Sounds like it.
Period. Like absolute serial killer. All right. Now, this is definitely going to be a long episode. It's definitely going to run longer. So I don't think we're going to have a movies segment this time, only because we're real long. I went deep on this and was finding all kinds of really cool information. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, just bear with us here, folks. We got 2 more, I think, and then we'll call it an evening.
All right.
So now in 2011, we have Scott Lilly. On Friday, August 12th of 2011, a group of intrepid hikers meandering along a secluded side trail winding toward the serene Cow Camp Gap shelter in the enchanting George Washington Jefferson National Forest. Okay? They're out there just doing their thing.
Fuck yeah.
As they navigated the lush greenery and the melodic sounds of nature, they stumbled upon a chilling sight. Wonder what it could be. Any guesses?
Some dead people.
A lifeless body hastily concealed in a shallow grave. Its presence casting a haunting shadow over the tranquil landscape, obviously. This somber discovery unfolded in the heart of the Mount Pleasant Special Management Area, a place that is usually synonymous with peace and natural beauty, now marked by an unsettling mystery. The that's the Appalachian Trail, Hotel Trail Loop, nestled within the breathtaking Mount Pleasant National Scenic Area, spans an impressive 7.5 miles. Okay. The trail traces the Appalachian Trail through the sweeping bald landscape of Coal Mountain. I guess there's not really much there. It's just fields or whatever, offering a bunch of it's supposed to be gorgeous. Like you're supposed to be able to see for 7.5 miles, just dead ass, just out.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you embark on this journey, you'll experience a gradual descent towards Cow Camp Gap, where the historic Cow Camp Gap shelter awaits. The path meanders gracefully around the mountainside, inviting hikers to navigate several charming streams, crossings that burble and sparkle in the sunlight. Sounds beautiful. Sounds quaint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super, super awesome, I guess. So due to the nature of the crime occurring on federal territory, because remember, this is a federally reserved or preserved place, the investigation was swiftly taken over by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Leading the charge was FBI Special Agent Steve Duanas.
Okay.
Duanas.
All right.
Tasked with unraveling the mystery surrounding a tragic event. The FBI confirmed the identity of the lifeless body as belonging to Scott A. Lilly, a 30-year-old resident of South Bend, Indiana. Tragically, it appeared that he had taken his last breath approximately 12 days before his remains were discovered. Yikes. Leaving a lingering sense of sorrow and unanswered questions, and probably a pretty bad stench. Scott was deeply enamored with the rich tapestry of Civil War history, a passion that guided him to the lush landscapes of Virginia. So he was a Civil War nerd. Love it. He sought adventure along the hiking trails, setting out on June 15th, 2011. Oh, he has a trail name. Now, he's a huge Civil War fan. What do you think his trail name is?
Some dumb like Gettysburg or some shit.
You're close. You're close. Think more of like a general.
Fucking Grant.
Stonewall. Yeah. So that's
real quick. Well, since you brought up the trail names again, I was reading a little thing about it. Apparently, it's just like a tradition that you have a trail name. And you don't have to have a trail name, but it makes it easy for people to be able to recognize you if you have a trail name.
But don't you have a real name? Can't you just use your real name?
Yeah, but where's the fun in that?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Be cool.
And then it said that generally you don't give yourself a trail name. Other people give you the trail name.
Oh, okay. So, you're adorned a name.
Right.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of cool.
There's like rules, dude. It was crazy. But also they said that if someone tries to give you a trail name and you don't accept that as your trail name, then that they can't call you that. So like
that's hilarious.
You have to accept the trail name before people could start calling you that trail name.
That's hilarious. Like, nope, you're not calling me that. Nope. Absolutely not. Okay, man. Sorry. So obviously, if you guys.
So that's the thing with the trail names.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's like a tradition thing. You know?
Yeah. All right. I get it. That's cool.
Yeah.
So now Stonewall here, obviously, it's a nod to Confederate General Thomas Stonewall Jackson, who died in friendly fire in 1863 near Clarksburg, West Virginia. Anyway, so Scott's journey here along the Appalachian Trail was more than a mere hike. It was a profound quest for self-discovery. He yearned to connect with the past, to walk the same paths as those who fought valiantly in the Civil War battles. His ambition was to traverse the trail southward from the mountainous terrain of Maryland all the way to the serene summit of Springer Mountain in Georgia. However, obviously, some shit went down. The last known sighting of him was around July 31st when he bravely ascended the Priest, which is a majestic 4,063-foot mountain that rises prominently in Nelson County, Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah. The iconic Appalachian Trail winds its way across the rugged landscape of this towering peak. He took refuge at the Priest Shelter, nestled about 0.6 miles east of the AT, the Appalachian Trail, along the winding Old Hotel Trail, which gracefully loops back to rejoin the Maine Trail approximately 2 miles to the north. So if you guys can envision all that. This shelter, surrounded by the serene beauty of nature, is a challenging 16.8 miles from the nearest point on the trail, making it a worthy stop for weary hikers. So it's basically like one of your only places to kind of stop off. So
I'm looking at pictures of that mountain. It's fucking beautiful.
No, I'm sure it is. And we'll post some pictures up on social media and shit too. In the depths of in the depths of the forest, Cow Camp Gap Shelter, that is a weird one to say. Cow Camp Gap Shelter lies another 0.6 miles off the AT, tucked away at the end of the hotel trail. It's likely that Scott planned to rest at this tranquil shelter with the intention of continuing his journey to US 60 the following day. He envisioned a brisk hike of 3.8 miles to reach the road, and then a short little jaunt here of 9.3 miles into the charming trail town of Buena Vista, Virginia, where he would replenish his supplies and perhaps, just chill and hang out with some folks. But tragically, in January of 2012, the Office of Chief Medical Examiner revealed the devastating, cause here. His cause of death was determined to be asphyxia by suffocation, a harrowing conclusion that classified the death as homicide, casting a shadow over his once serene adventure, and that one is also unsolved to this day. Yeah. So dude was just somebody choked him out.
To get away with murder, Appalachian Trail is probably the place to.
Yeah, because you're kind of out there, and if you think about the guys who got popped, they got popped by doing stupid shit. You know what I mean? The one guy literally wrote his name.
And honestly, think about it. If something like that happens, they don't find a body 12 days. Man, you could be fucking anywhere in 12 days, and at that point, all the shit start it's gonna make it hard to get any kind of evidence or anything like that.
Yeah,
everything's gonna be. It's crazy, dude.
Just the landscape itself it's not easy to get in, not easy to get out.
I was just going to say, and you could get in. It's not easy, but you can get in and out without anybody having any fucking idea you're even there.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Absolutely. So now I have one more here for you. This is the last one on our list, thankfully, only because, it's already been a lot of people that have died here. So in 2019, okay, this is Ronald Sanchez Jr., and this story is fucking crazy.
Okay.
So on the evening of May 10th of 2019, a man named James Lewis Jordan, aged right around 30 years old, well, he was 30, approached a group of 4 hikers in the serene surrounds of Jefferson National Forest in West Virginia. Jordan had been journeying along the Appalachian Trail for several weeks, accompanied by his loyal dog, Felicia, another puppy.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia. He introduced himself with a distinctive nickname. His name was Sovereign, claiming to be, quote, captain of the hit squad. Off-putting much? Hi, my name's Sovereign. I'm captain of the hit squad.
Maybe he's talking about music.
Maybe.
All he does is write hits.
He just write hits?
Yeah.
He puts both his pants on just like we do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name of his band, and they're called the Hit Squad.
Oh, okay. All right. More cowbell. Yikes. So when the hikers looked into his eyes,
cover band name.
When the hikers looked into, it actually would be a really good cover band name. It probably is, right? It has to be.
It's gotta be.
Yeah. When the hikers actually looked at this guy and looked into his eyes, though, it was just unsettling as shit. as if the dude was just off his gourd. So the four friends here described a peculiar scene here. Jordan was strumming his guitar and singing at unusual moments, his demeanor appearing both erratic and unhinged. His unsettling presence lingered in their minds as they set up camp later that evening just a few miles away near a site in Wythe County, Virginia, close to the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area. The night fell quietly around them, yet the strange encounter with Jordan left an undeniable mark on their adventure. So this dude not only walks up, says his name's Sovereign, he's the captain of the hit squad, but he has a guitar. And he's just intermittently playing it, just like talking to someone. And someone's like, yeah, so we're like, and he's in the back going, hey, baby, baby. You know what I mean? Just total fucking weirdo. So Jordan, old fucking weirdo James Jordan here, Sovereign, suddenly appeared out of nowhere and began threatening the entire group, declaring that he intended to, quote, pour gasoline on their tents and burn them all to death. Okay. Alarmed, the four hikers decided to relocate their camp. They were like, what the fuck? We're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, however, Jordan then pulled out a knife and confronted them. Two of the hikers took off running north on the trail, and they left and called 911 at 2:30 in the morning, reporting that they were being chased by a man with a knife. Jordan eventually gave up the chase and returned to the campsite. So he went off after those two and then went back. He began verbally abusing the other two hikers who stayed there for some fucking reason. 43-year-old Ronnie S. Sanchez Jr. of Oklahoma and a woman that was there. Sanchez and Jordan started arguing. So this dude's got this knife. He's threatening them. I don't know if Sanchez was trying to be, tough in front of the chick or something like that. First of all, he didn't run off. And second of all, he's like getting into an argument with this fucking guy. So they're getting into this argument. So Sanchez pulls out his freaking cell phone and trying to get reception there in the middle of the fucking mountains. And he was trying to call 911. Well, that's when Jordan here, the crazy guy, Sovereign, started stabbing him in the upper torso. What? Just fucking went at him.
Oh my God, dude.
So now Sanchez, our victim here, he had 3 extensive tours serving in Iraq and accumulated an impressive 16 years of service in the U.S. Army. His return to the United States, however, was marred by the haunting shadows of PTSD and various combat-related injuries that he bore, as revealed by his former wife, Elizabeth Sanchez. Conversations about his experiences were a rarity. He didn't like talking about it. He preferred the solitude of his thoughts over discussing the turbulent memories of war. When he came home, he felt disconnected from those around him, particularly from people who found it difficult to venture out for daily errands like grocery shopping during daylight hours. So he's got a lot of baggage from 16 years of service and being over in 3 different tours over in Iraq. It's a lot. So on the trail, he was known by his trail name, which is actually pretty cool, Stronghold. That's pretty tough, I'm not going to lie. So a moniker he felt resonated with his journey of finding inner peace and clarity. What was that?
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So he shared with Elizabeth, his ex-wife, that the wilderness provided a sanctuary from his struggles. So he liked it because he got out of his own head when he was there. It was peaceful, and he needed that because he had all this trauma in his mind, man.
I get it. Absolutely.
So Sanchez embarked on his hiking expedition early in the season, fully aware that his pace would likely be slower than most due to the lingering effects of his knee and shoulder injuries. Despite these challenges, he was determined to embrace the solace of the trail and rediscover himself amidst the natural beauty that healed his weary spirit. When Sanchez Jr., after he's stabbed here, he falls to the ground covered in blood from the knife attack. The female hiker that was there attempted to run away with this Sovereign Jordan here in pursuit, like chasing after her. When he caught up to her, she raised her arms to surrender, and Jordan began stabbing her repeatedly. At which point, she fell to the ground. But she played dead. So this dude thought he killed her, and he returned back to the campsite.
Smart.
Yep. So after Jordan left the scene here, the shaken female hiker sprang to her feet, stabbed again. Is the second chick in this, female in this, all these we've talked about that literally have been either stabbed or shot and is getting up and running for help. Her heart raced as she stumbled upon a group of campers nestled just off the path. Grateful for their presence, they rallied around her, assisting her in trudging six more miles to the nearest trailhead. There, amidst the towering trees and distant echoes of nature, they managed to contact emergency services to report the brutal stabbings. She was swiftly transported to a nearby medical center in Bristol, Tennessee, where she could receive care. Meanwhile, old crazy boy Jordan here retraced his steps down the trail, drawn towards another pair of backpackers cocooned in their tents, blissfully unaware of that chaos and what the fuck just happened, okay?
Yeah.
So he's literally going up on more campers. Approaching them with desperation, he shouted for a flashlight, his voice echoing through the stillness of the woods. The backpackers, sensing something's fucked up here, hesitated and kind of just looked at each other like, what the fuck is this? And then their instincts kicked in. They found his behavior unsettling. Quote, they were real reluctant to just talk to him. They thought it was a little unusual, recounted Wythe County Sheriff Keith Dunnigan during a press briefing. Relief evident in his voice that they chose to remain inside the safety of their tent, unaware of the danger lurking just outside. So they stayed in their tent because they heard this dude going, hey, I need a flashlight.
Yeah.
And they're like, like, nope, there's no one here. You know, like utilizing pings emitted from a nearby cell phone tower, law enforcement officials were able to triangulate the general vicinity of the initial stabbing incident. Consequently, the tactical unit of the Wythe County Sheriff's Office commenced a rigorous 4-mile trek through a rugged terrain to reach the crime scene. By 6:14 a.m. the following morning, the team arrived at the remote campsite. And see, this is what we're talking about. Now it's 6:14 the following morning.
Yeah.
Where the first attack had taken place. Tragically, they discovered the lifeless body of Sanchez, who had succumbed to his injuries. Alongside him lay a dog, a poignant presence that ultimately guided the officers towards identifying the suspect. Okay, so upon further investigation, deputies observed blood smeared across Jordan's clothing, an undeniable clue linking him to the horrific event. So Jordan's clothing, when they catch up to him, he just literally took the blood from his hands and just wiped it on himself. Faced with overwhelming evidence and the strategic presence of the entire tactical team surrounding him, Jordan made the wise decision to just surrender. Sheriff's Deputy Dunnigan remarked, quote, with our entire tactical team there, he understood the gravity of the situation and chose to submit to law enforcement. So now, this is where it's probably going to piss you off, but old Jordan here was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Yep.
Of course he was.
During his trial, 2 esteemed doctors from the University of Virginia Medical School took to the stand, presenting compelling testimony that painted a vivid portrait of Jordan's struggles. They revealed that he grapples with schizoaffective disorder, a complex condition intertwining symptoms of both mood and thought disorders, alongside acute manifestations of psychosis. It's the little words I fuck up on. It's so dumb. But anyway, so he has manifestations of psychosis. At the time of the crimes, these debilitating illnesses were not merely dormant; they were full-blown boogie, buddy, markedly distorting his perception of reality. The doctors articulated their findings with clarity, emphasizing that Jordan was ensnared in a labyrinth of confusion and despair, unable to grasp the gravity of his actions. Their testimony underscored the notion that his mental state constituted, quote, a severe mental disease or defect, as stipulated by federal court records. In essence, they concluded that during this tumultuous period, Jordan's mind was shrouded in a veil of illness, preventing him from understanding the enormity of what he had done. And that literally constitutes what a mental disease or defect is. You cannot be able to, you don't know what the fuck he did.
Right.
You're not trying to cover
the guy
it up.
That went back to cover his tracks knew what he was doing.
Exactly. You have to be like, fucking aliens came down and came out my butthole, and that's why I stabbed him, you know? And
you have to convince people that you believe that.
Correct.
Too. That's the other thing.
Right. Yeah. So on Friday,
you can try to fake it, but they know better than that. They know.
Yeah, they can usually tell. So on Friday, let's see, that Friday, or whatever Friday after this, U.S. District Judge James P. Jones issued a ruling mandating that Jordan be placed in a psychiatric facility for treatment. The judge specified that Jordan will remain in this facility until he shows significant improvement in his mental health, defined as a point where either his full release or a conditional release would no longer pose a substantial risk of causing bodily harm to him or inflicting serious damage to someone else's property. The order underscores the court's concern for public safety while addressing Jordan's mental health needs in a structured environment. And there you go. This dude, literally, if he shows signs of improvement, he can be let out.
Yeah, I don't like that.
See, here's the thing with this, and I'm just gonna do this real fast. I think if you are found criminally insane, you should just be in that facility for the remainder of your life.
Yeah.
Because
maybe like down the road you might get like some, you could go out for, maybe whatever, but you got to be like supervised, like whatever.
Right. But what is causing them to get better? It's usually drugs. I mean, therapy, yes, but usually it's drugs, right?
Usually.
What happens when they get out and they stop taking those drugs?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
You know what I mean?
Unless somebody's monitoring them 24/7.
Right. So letting them out. Right. So letting them out, I don't think is a good thing. But I also don't like that shit where they'll take someone who's criminally insane, put them in a psychiatric facility until they get better, and then take them to trial.
Yeah,
that is fucking crazy, because the person that's on trial is not the one.
It's not the same person.
It's not the same guy. And they do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there you go. That is the Appalachian apple bottom jeans. That fucking place.
Oh boy.
Woo! There's a lot there.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be that crazy when I jumped into this one, man. And it took me a while.
So there's a lot of other shit that I was finding.
On your boy Ralph?
Not necessarily Appalachian Trail, but like Ralph. And then like there's a couple other ones. Like the dude from Cleveland, that Walter Leo fucking whatever.
Yeah, he seems like a real special kind of guy.
Like I was looking into him, and then it somehow, like I didn't find the connection, but it took me to another article about a dude and like a bunch of serial killings in the same area, like in North Carolina or something like that.
Really?
That I found. I was just like, what? Like apparently this dude, apparently there's like this, I don't know. It's fucking crazy. It's
Let's talk about it over in Patreon, man.
Well, there's like so much. Yeah, that's fine. There's so much like, dude, there's a lot of death in that area because it's so fucking remote.
It's desolate.
And it's like
it's desolate. It's
crazy, dude.
And listen, this is why I'm not going. I'm not going out there. I don't need to go out there. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's kind of just briefly kind of go over some of the guys people that were involved in this. You've got avid hikers, people that do this shit all the time, that know the trails. They wind up dead. You've got a veteran, a 3-tour Iraq veteran who was murdered. And I'm nowhere even close to the man that guy is.
And it's not even one of those things where it's just like, if you're with somebody, blah. It's like, no, most of these people were with somebody and they're both fucking dead now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's fucking. Although
at the same time, I don't know if you noticed, and I don't know what the rules on this are. Not one of them had a weapon of any kind on them. There was no guns involved except for like the one dude that shot the other. I'm saying the guy that killed him.
How much you want to bet because it's a federally protected place? You can't have a firearm. Which
that's a good question.
That's crazy.
I mean, because I'm like, dude, if one of those two if they had a gun in a backpack, one of those people is staying alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, none of them had any weapons on them either. But they also didn't even have like knives, like hunting knives or anything like that. Like they should have had some sort of, I don't know, something on them. You know what I mean? I'm not going out into the freaking wilderness without something to protect myself. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. And if I'm with you, you sure as shit ain't going to protect me.
So you can, apparently you can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why the fuck didn't what? I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. That is the Appalachian Trail and its horridness, the dark side of the Appalachian Trail. Make sure to stop over to our official website, themidnighttrainpodcast.com, especially if you like the story, the way we told it, all that good shit. At our website, you can buy some super sweet merchandise.
Super sweet.
He's reading.
Sorry, dude. I'm reading about firearms on the Appalachian Trail.
You cock. So yes, you can get some super sweet merchandise at our store.
Super sweet.
We get all kinds of cool stuff over there. Got more stuff coming. I have a bunch of real cool shit that I'll be dropping as soon as I can get my ass over there. Updating the website, all that good shit. So do us a favor. If you can, review the show. Anywhere you can review, please give us 5 stars, 5 thumbs up, whatever the fuck it is. You can say whatever the hell you want when you're up there. You could just say Moody is super sweet. There you go.
Super sweet.
Just say that. And also, please do us a favor. Consider being a show producer, getting all those bonuses and stuff that we've talked about over at the midnighttrainpodcast.com. That's right. Become a pooper. Become a first-class passenger. And find out what the fuck a pooper is, especially if you're new here. You're like, what the fuck is a pooper? So for $5 a month, as little as $5 a month, you can get all kinds of cool stuff, like a custom shirt, custom poster, custom sticker, a plethora of bonus episodes, all that stuff. Join up, become part of the Cool Kids Club. And sign up for our Patreon. It's fun.
If you join for $50 a month or more, John will send you a picture of a smiley face on his nutsack.
I'm not against it.
Yeah, no,
I'm not against it. I mean,
you can't be because I just put it out there.
Yeah, and just remember, you're signing up for that, so don't flag me and shit if that happens to if you send $50 a month over, you asked for it. I'm just saying, I'll even shave the bad boys. You know what I mean? Like, ooh. Yeah.
And then every month you'll get a new picture of his nutsack with a smiley face on it somewhere like how people take pictures when they go with like a little.
With different facial hair on the smiley face. So it'll have like a beard one time.
Little goatee, little mustache.
Oh my God. That's disturbing and gross.
Every month gross. A new nutsack picture in your mailbox.
You can also find us on all the socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, all that good stuff. YouTube.
Dude, if I was a listener and I was rich, I would do it.
Yeah, well, it'd be fun.
I'd be like, fuck this guy.
Hey, I don't care. Yeah, I'm good. Let's go. Like, shit, whatever. It's just my nuts. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
That's funny.
Again, over at Spotify, you can actually rate and review as well. So that'd be really cool and very helpful if you guys could do that. Apple Podcasts, that also really does help and gets us up the algorithms. We are back and doing this once a week, plus with our bonus stuff.
Ish.
Well, ish. We never said when. So, yeah.
We never said when.
So you'll get them when you get them, but we're going to try and give them as much as we can. Okay, we'll put it that way.
We got a couple of good ones lined up.
We do. We got some really cool. I started working on one, dude, that I really want to get it done for next week.
Okay.
It's and we talked about it. I don't even want to.
Yeah.
I think we may have mentioned it, whatever, but we'll talk about it off the air here. And it's pretty. Yeah. It's pretty fucking dark. Like,
I know. I've read a little bit up about it, but I don't know a ton about it. I've read a little bit about it, like what it was and stuff like that. And it's
fucked.
I didn't even go into any kind of like dig in or depth about it. Yeah. And I was just like, wow.
Very, very sad time in
very somber thing
in our country's history. But not that we haven't had a lot of those. Also, too, hey, if you guys just want to be cool and you don't want to sign up for Patreon, but you're like, hey, I'm going to send some money to these guys because I really love what they're doing, you could do that.
Look, if you just want to send $50 one time, you'll still get a picture of John's nutsack.
Absolutely. Okay. You could do that over at PayPal and just use the email, themidnighttrainpodcast@gmail.com. Listen, anything is appreciated, and we definitely appreciate you. So, of course, we cannot thank you guys enough for all the love and support that we've received.
Sign up. I need a new mic clip now.
He did break his fucking mic clip. The brand new mic stand, we got him. And I know it's not the stand.
I know not the stand,
but now he broke his mic clip. So, and I have to take a picture of this, and I will send over that he has it taped up with. It looks like Scotch tape.
Nope, it is actually hockey tape.
Ah, okay, there you go. At least you use hockey tape for it.
Shit's good for everything.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I really don't. Oh boy!
I was trying to turn the microphone so I could adjust it and get it where I needed it to, and as I was turning it, it just fucking snapped. So
Jesus Christ.
I fucking baby Huey'd the shit out of that thing, dude.
It worked today, though. It did. First thing I noticed.
George, I was just trying to adjust the microphone, George.
So we can see each other when we're doing this because we do it virtually. And so I can see Moody and obviously he can see me or whatever. And so the first thing I saw when I came into our little session here is just a taped up microphone. I swear, I was just like, okay.
You know what? I'm not holding it though.
No, it's true. It's very true.
I didn't have to hold this thing for 2 goddamn hours.
Absolutely. So listen, if you guys do sign up for Patreon, you will get your name announced at the end of the show just to say thank you to you. And so we're going to do that right now to our fearless executive producer, Patreon first class passenger poopers.
Thanks for sticking with us through all the bullshit.
To Amy Moses, Ibrahim Moizus, Samuel Beaver, Chelsea Benz, Timothy Moore, Jacob Knoll, Ms. P, Cassandra Fuentes, Jacob Peters, Stoner Babe 69, Tim Karras, Zoe Miller, Tracy Valancourt, Edgar Rodriguez, Jenny Wynn, Riley with no last name, Chris Connors, Amanda C, Micah Purdue, Dale Wells, George D. Jesus, Megan McTerry, Amanda Denz, Chris Lucas, Joseph Alramo, Nathan, and that's probably not how you say it. I know I do it every time. Nathan Diekman, Caitlin McKinney, Maggie Brothers, Rick Resler, Miles Campbell, Brian Gunsman, Pumpkin Escobar, Mac Doherty, Janet Sherrill, Chad Flint, Chris McLeod, Justin Kowalczyk, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw today or not, but apparently, what the hell was the first guy we talked about on the war criminals? Demjanjuk. His granddaughter or something bought Justin's grandparents' house.
What?
Yeah, he posted something recently on Facebook about that.
I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Yeah, it's crazy. Christina Skelton from the Sister Skelton podcast. We miss you. Maria Gibbs, to the one, the only, old as fuck chainsaw.
What the fuck?
To Courtney Batchelor, Katie Brabenick, and of course our boy Bill Birch.
Oh, good for you.
Do us a favor, spread the word. And if you want your name mentioned on the show and for us to be forever grateful as whatever that means to you, just become a Patreon producer, become a first class passenger. And yeah, stay safe out there. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and never stop seeking the truth. Choo choo, motherfuckers!
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
It's Appalachian.